Okay, what was it, 2 days ago? Jeff will double laser it. I asked Jeff how much money to try, like to fly there and try. I can't remember what he said. I think he said 50 grand. I was like, damn. Guys, why are you being mean to the scooterer? This is a sick thing. You don't need to be mean. 6K views. Yeah, it just came out. It's hard in scootering. It's sick. He backflipped it. Be nice. I think the water tower, you saying if you fall, you die. I don't think you die. I think you fall and you can live. Whereas this, if you hit your head, you are 100% dead. Helmet or not, you are dead. Alright. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. So 2 days ago, I went to the forest and I tried so hard and I got so far. But in the end, what happens in the end? Check this shit out. It's crazy low views for something now. I think it will blow up. I have faith. Alright, we did an IRL stream trying to make fire from scratch. I failed stream number 1, but this is a long game. But when I was doing this, the audio like messed up. But on my recording, it has the audio, but I just wanted to replay how close I did get. So I guess we'll go from like here. Like I was really flying high.
Sorry. Alright, ready? Check this shit out.
Check this shit out.
This is regular data. I got 3 phones.
Look at that smooth. Uh-oh.
Hang on.
What went right? That's what I'm trying to see, Gia. Alright, so...
Oh my god.
See how I'm hitting the dirt? That's not good. See, now I'm getting the smoke. You got it? Warm it up, get it hot.
No!
And then you power through.
It's
See, like, I'm
starting to
blowing it right now.
smoke.
Go, 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 go,
So
go,
hot,
go!
too.
Go!
My dog is freaking out, sorry.
Go!
I don't know, mute while I'm doing this.
I didn't bend my knees, yeah, dude. Honestly, my knee was hurting. My body was not sore from the pulling, but just from being in such an awkward position. Go, bro, go! Alright, now we're getting some speed.
Oh my god. It's like
Was that it?
smoking. Wow. Wow, it's hot to the touch.
Damn, why am
Fire
I so
safety said if it's
slow?
hot to the touch, it can start fires. Thank you.
Can this
Mr.
guy
Bear.
shut the... Can this guy shut the... Did I have the Tinder ready? No. That was my biggest downfall. But I literally
Ember
did.
builds on the dust. I know.
Look at this time wasting. What an idiot.
I'm trying.
This guy's such an idiot. Yeah, this is the recording, Gia. So the audio won't be messed up.
Fuck. I hate when it comes out.
Audio delayed cheer 25.
Yeah.
Okay,
here we
shut
go.
up.
Look at that.
I'll fix it in a sec. I'll fix it in a sec. I'll fix it in a sec.
Oh my
Edge of
god,
this
this guy's
thing
so
is
slow. I
annoying.
can't believe this. Not yet, Brian, but look how close I got. Next time, I'm definitely gonna do it. I know what to work on now. I can't believe how much time I'm delaying there.
Tier 25 is the bottom of spindle contacting bottom of hole you card.
Look at
Making
this.
sure not just sides are.
I really locked in. Man, I did go for a while, huh? Look, and then I accidentally...
Yo! Oh my god.
Look how big it is!
That's a fucking ember, guys. That's a fucking ember!
Look! Look! Look how big it was!
What
How did I not do it from that?
do? What do we do?
Look, ready? I knock it into the dirt. I'm like super panicked. This is the worst bit. Look how big it is! Like, look! Look! How? And I blew it. I blew it into the dirt. I'm like, oh no!
No! Janice!
Oh my god. Wasn't that insane? Look at my shitty Tinder. Terrible
What did I
Tinder
do? What did I
profile. 1 out of 10.
Oh my god! Alright, it's out. We can do it!
Yeah, damn. And I just dump it in the dirt, lol. I know, I really tried, but I was caught off guard. Okay, look. I got it right here. We can do it again. We can do it indoors. Don't tell Janice. Nah, just kidding. But I kept my tools, I don't know, just to examine or whatever. It was this first hole that really worked, and then I tried more and I was not really working out. I didn't know why. And this is a different spindle too. But my main problem was the bow. I feel like this should have been longer, and my knots were so bad. I was Googling how to tie better knots, and I was gonna learn to do the knots right now. But I think we can do it not tomorrow, but the day after. I think let's aim for Thursday morning begin, do it for the night, have nice nighttime camp out vibes, and then come back the next day, and I'll keep the stream on overnight, I guess. That's what I want to do. Right now I want to watch more videos to just see the troubleshooting. I also bought this knife sharpener. Does it work? Is Janice invited? I think she's busy. But I think this is a boys trip kind of thing. No, no time limits. I think it might work a little better. How much was the sharpener? I think it was like $14 or $10, so in between 10 and 14. Those are shitty. Damn it, Gia. Why? What's wrong with it? I feel like I don't want to do this inside, right? Because isn't this going to put like knife residue in my bed? So we just go like that. I'm not going to do it in here. Ricky starts LA wildfire. It's Milwaukee? Yeah. I got one other thing. Should I show you now or should I save it for the stream? You can? I bought one other tool. You're probably going to tell me this shit as well. Boom. The mini machete. Is that good? Put a towel down? Yeah, I can't be bothered doing that. Gator Machete Jr. Dual blade. You Gaber? Why? What's wrong with this brand? Isn't this good? That's not a knife. This is a knife. That's not a machete. Yes, it is, brother. It's good enough. Looks like a toy. That's a big ass knife. Let's crack it open. Lol. Well, I was thinking about it. You guys know how much I complain where I live, that it's ghetto and whatnot. And then Janice had the incident where the guy was trying to break into a car while she was actively in there. Terrible, traumatic, awful incident. But I was thinking, like where I am, I could see out the window, like behind the camera. I'm like, man, if I was home, what would I have done? Like, I don't have any water pistols or anything. So I was like, machete is a nice close range weapon. So if I'm asleep, I hear a noise, you hold the machete and you go see what's out there. I feel like this is decent. So it was kind of like a dual purpose. And then it also has the saw on the other side. Let me try to open it without cutting myself. Look at the sheet. I need a knife to open the knife packaging. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not a shade, but you hear a noise in the night? Who is it? But see, it's got the saw too. So when I'm out, when I go back, I can cut stuff. Cut the tree. You're scaring me? I mean, you're allowed to buy knives. What does it say? This machete is dangerous tool if not used properly. I like how they put the tiniest little thing just on the tip and not on the whole thing. Alright, maybe not on Twitch, but maybe later we'll do that. But anyway, yeah, I feel like this will be good. Feels pretty blunt though. Should I sharpen it? It would be nice if it didn't have the saw so you could batten with it. I mean, I feel like slice, no stab. If I stab, it will get stuck in there. I feel like it's a good slice. Boom, because you want a distance weapon. Someone's attacking you, you want distance. There, up at the van. Boom, boom. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. Should I rock it on my new belt? Read the manual. Paper cut test. I don't really have any paper. It's blunt. I don't know. We'll test it in the forest. So it goes this way, huh? You gotta get a strap so that you can have it on your back at all times. I don't know, I just think it's nice to have something in the house, so next time someone tries to break into Janice's car while she's in there and attack her, I'll go and slice the dude up. Wilderness expert Rick. Alright, now, with that out of the way, let's watch bow drill troubleshooting videos and see what I was doing wrong. You can use a skateboard as a shield if you mole grab. That's true. That's what I was thinking, like my skateboard is my best weapon, but it's not that good for like indoors. The machete's much better. Oh, we're still logged into the AI channel. Alright, so I thought I need some of these videos. Bow drill friction fire hacks, tricks and tips. I feel like that's what I need. That's 20 minutes. Bow drill friction fire troubleshooting the spindle. See, like, I feel like 12 minutes, fuck. They're all so long. How to build, oh, National Geographic? Alright, let me see. See, where do I get tinder like that?
I'm Thorn. I live in the
What the heck? Why?
forest. And this is how I build a bow drill fire.
Are they British? I don't know.
Tinder bundle. Got cattail down
See, like, where does he get this stuff?
inside. And this is tulip poplar. On the outside. This is the ember plate that'll catch my coal.
What up, Drumburgers? Dried grass is fine to get it started. Have you ever done it before, Drumburgers?
My handhold, the stone that I found.
See, my handhold, I was using this. And after a while, I put the wax in it. I didn't like the idea of a stone. I feel like that's too hard. Barefoot might not be it, but what can you do?
The pretty crucial part of this
Oh no, that's the fireboard?
set is having a spindle that's
Notice the size difference. No, the
work
spindle
with.
is about the same.
this hearth board, the fireboard. So I've carved a notch in here. The notch.
Okay, so he made a very big notch.
That hole.
Would I get a face tat? Fuck no, hell no. Why would I ever get a face tat? You serious, Gia? Even neck, fingers, I don't know, dude. Like, this is, honestly, this is already bad enough. Maybe I should have thought this through and not put it there. Maybe I could have put it there. I don't know. Hell no, I would never get a face tat. What the hell?
And what'll happen? The spindle will sit in there.
Okay, so his is kind of blunt.
Will
Mine is
spin
a similar.
this. The powder from this and from this both will push down through the notch and hold a coal and sustain a coal for just long
I
enough
feel like
for me to get it.
this is the thing. If you want to tattoo your face, you're an adult. Do whatever you want. To tattoo your face, I feel like you're living life. Life is already medium difficulty. Let's say medium to hard. You tattoo your face, you're not on medium to hard anymore. You're on extreme hardcore difficulty now. Like, do that if you want. Change the setting if you want, but I don't know. I think medium to hard is good enough.
For my ember.
My holes were too big. Yeah, the first hole was a bit smaller. These ones were bigger. And his notches are much bigger. Mine were a bit small. Depends where you spawn. That's true.
Ember plate into my tinder bundle.
But I think tattooing your face does increase the difficulty no matter what.
Right now I'm putting facets on this spindle on the bottom edge. And that's going to help create friction.
Oh!
And up here,
I was thinking about that. I think a chatter said to do that. You don't want it to get too smooth. You want it to be, like, rigid or whatever. Maybe that's why the first attempt worked, because it wasn't smooth, and then after a while it just got smoother and smoother and smoother. That makes sense.
I've pointed it. And I don't want any friction on this point. Because it's got to move.
Oh!
It's like that. So,
Okay.
as you can
What the?
grease it up. You haven't had a creek swim in a while.
He's using
It's a
his
little
wax.
faster.
Natural wax. Maybe put in his ear?
You want all the friction to be on the
Ear
low
wax
end.
would probably work.
This is a corded buckskin with the grain on. And it's been a good string.
He shaved
It's
it
got
down
a
so it's
little
smooth
bit,
and
a
more
few more fires in it.
stable. Look, his bow is not too big, and his bow doesn't look bendy at all.
Yeah, lock in.
That does not look bendy.
Gonna burn in.
And that's got no reach on it.
Let's get the hole started.
Oh, it wasn't in one take. What I read too was you go slow at the start to warm it up, and then you slowly get faster and faster. You don't need to go super fast straight away. It's still way smaller than my first one. That's true. See, I think you really wanted to smoke a lot. Damn. See, if you keep the dust there, the whole thing can become the ember. Just straight in. See, that didn't even look that easy. That looked like that was kind of a lot of work too. Ah, now what? Oh shit, he had it all ready. Boom. Man, it does seem fun. I'm definitely getting it next time. I reckon I maybe leave the house at like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Nah, maybe not. Maybe 8 a.m. I leave the house, drive 2 hours out, start the stream at 10, 11. Then we go all day.
And that's how I build a bow drill fire.
And then what? I should cook something on it too, just for the vibe. What do I cook to celebrate? Okay, I think this one looked pretty good. Tricks and tips, primitive fire bushcraft survival, 24 minutes.
So fire
Cook
is one of the
eggs.
4 key priorities for survival, and learning to light a fire by friction is
Hot
a
dog?
very
Oh yeah,
useful
that's a good
and
idea.
fun
Glizzies.
skill to learn. So in this video, I'm going to show you my favorite method for the bow drill friction fire.
Why are they always British? What is with this? Is it the thing that I'm typing? Friction fire?
Skill to learn. So in this video, I'm going to show you my favorite method for the bow drill.
My
friction
favorite
fire.
method?
So stay tuned.
That's like Scottish,
so,
right?
Although learning to light a fire by
Although.
friction is a fantastic skill to have, I think it's important to mention that, you know, if you're planning a trip into the wild, you should never solely rely on friction methods.
solely.
You should always
I'm throwing
carry
out my
multiple
lighter,
more
dog.
reliable ways of getting a
All
fire
or
going,
nothing.
things like ferro rods, lighters, matches, stuff like that. But that being said,
Look, his
it's
bow looks
fantastic
shitty as
to
well.
Continue practicing friction fire
Yes,
methods.
I'm
and
pretty sure
always
it's
have that
Scottish.
skill up your sleeve.
Lake
for an
Inverness.
emergency. There's many different types of friction
Loch
fires,
Ness.
and they differ from different cultures and, you know, where you are in the world. But most of them, what they have in common is that you usually have
Do
two pieces of
Australian
wood.
people hate British? No, I mean, Australian people don't hate any people. I'll say the most common thing when people don't know my accent is they'll guess British though.
Rubbing together, creating heat by friction, but also creating a dust that acts as the tinder and creates an ember. You can then transfer that ember into a tinder bundle that you can then blow.
Tell us
into
who the
flame.
Aussies
So the
hate.
method
New Zealand. Is that acceptable?
that we're going to look at today is called the bow drill friction fire method, because you're using a bow as a sort of
See, his
mechanical
one looks
tool
shitty too.
to help you.
It looks
And
loose,
because of
bro.
that,
What
this is
the
arguably
fuck?
the most efficient friction fire method for this area of
Papa
the
Rick
world.
seems
in
to hate the
Northern
government.
Europe.
When I went to Home Depot, I went and I bought my machete. I went through the self-checkout. No one questions me. No one takes my ID. Nothing. Just go buy my nice wilderness knife. In Australia, you would never dream of such a thing. You can barely buy these. But you absolutely could not do it through the self-checkout. When I was in Australia, I went and bought birthday candles and not even a lighter, but one of those like barbecue lighters, and they made me, the person had to come over and make sure that I'm overage, whatever. Insane.
Partly because the materials are easier to find, but because of the mechanical advantage of the bow.
Machetes are illegal to possess in New South Wales today at 12 p.m. Yo, I read that. Australia is so fried too, they're like, hey guys, people are committing too many machete crimes. We're gonna ban them soon, in a few months. We're just gonna let the companies sell off their stock, then we're gonna make them illegal and ban them. It's like, what the hell is that? Either ban them or don't. You should ban them and buy them all if you're gonna do that. What do you mean giving them a chance to sell off the stock? Like, what the hell is that? I got ID'd for buying Tylenol, extra strength. Damn.
It's a bit more forgiving with wetter conditions and less than ideal materials.
There was
let's
a
run
brawl
through-
in a shopping center over the weekend. Yeah, Satreeb. Was it in Northland? Northland is actually my local shopping center as a kid in northern suburbs of Victoria, of Melbourne, Victoria. I did see that. I didn't watch the full video, but I heard about that. And I was like, whoa, Northland? I used to go there all the time. That was the first skate shop that I went to. 4 machetes in use, so they are illegal. I don't know. Australia likes rules a lot. Like, I wasn't fully... I don't know. As an Australian, I was like, yeah, you don't really need guns. Then I go to America and go, oh yeah, I definitely see why you need guns. You absolutely need guns. So, I don't know. My opinion's evolving over time. Australia does make a lot of rash decisions, I feel like.
through all the components and the sort of dimensions that I found have worked best for me. And to make these, all you really need is a good sturdy knife, and it also helps to have some sort of saw, even just
What do you
a
do if
small
they're
saw
illegal?
that you-
Well, before GR, they were considered a weapon still. So if I had it in my car and I drove to the skate park and someone, I don't know, say I got pulled over and they search my car, they go, "Why do you have this?" And I go, "It's just for protection." That's 100% crime. But if I was on the way to go fishing in the bush and I say, "I'm gonna cut the weeds down," then they'll say, "Oh, okay." But it was already like kind of a gray area. Like you weren't allowed to just carry it around.
you can get in Swiss Army knives. But these are the main components for this method. So this is the spindle.
But I'm not sure what
I
you
like
meant
to
to
make
do.
mine about the length of my forearm and about as thick as my thumb.
Yo!
This is
Yo!
the harpboard or fireboard.
We're killing it
I
out
like to
here.
make it usually about as thick as my thumb.
We're
This one's a wee bit
spot
thinner,
on.
but it still works.
Absolutely
And it just
spot
needs to be
on.
wider than the width of the spindle. So here we have the bow. I like to find a stick that's the length of my arm. And you see some people,
Oh my god.
thinking it's the same as like an archery bow, and they pick something that's springy, but that's just gonna take energy out of your technique. So
Watch your
find
mouth.
a bit of wood that's
Damn, look at his
solid.
knots. They look shit
Slight
too.
curve in it does help, but a straight bit actually works fine as long as there's nothing that's going to get in the way of the spindle. The cord, I'm using 550 paracord, but just any cord that's going to be strong enough. You do need something quite strong for this method, and that's arguably.
The government is putting out bins where the public can drop their machetes and no questions asked. After the amnesty, you have one, it's a felony if you're caught. Bro, what? The criminals are just gonna go steal the bin. That seems fried. I don't know. They should at least buy them off you. Like, what the hell? They shouldn't just force you to throw them away. That's lazy. I think they should buy them. Incentivize you to give them. If they want to make stupid rule, they should at least incentivize you.
One of the downsides for this method. I mean, people say you can use your shoelaces and stuff like that. But yeah, you do.
What did that say?
People say
Rubbing
you can use your
beeswax or
shoelaces
pine on
and
the
stuff
cord
like that.
helps it. Oh!
But
You see this good tip? Wax the cord. Pine resin. I don't know if candle wax would work. Beeswax or pine resin. Did people vote this in or just decided? Pretty sure just decided, Mike. The original, like, banning guns in 96, there was one mass shooting, and then the politician gets, guns are illegal now, done. Maybe I need to research it more, but that was my understanding. 96, there's one massacre. Obviously, extremely awful, absolutely terrible, very bad that people have the drive in their soul to want to kill others. Awful, absolutely horrific. But then after that, all guns gone. But that one, they did actually buy them, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, 96, I'm only 5 years old, so I kept mine. Just kidding. But I'm 5, so what do I know?
I mean, people say you can use your shoelaces and stuff like that. But yeah, you do need a strong bit of cord. You could make this out of natural materials, but you're just going to make sure it needs to be strong. And I've got a trucker's hitch, or bowyer's knot at the top.
Lost before.
And then I've just whipped it
NZ.
on one
Yeah,
end.
AU has had
the area that
since
I've
96,
just
a long
whipped it is
time.
where I'm going to hold it to make sure that doesn't come undone. Then
I
you
was
need a
doing that too.
bearing
I was
block.
holding it like that.
Now this is actually 2 limpet shells glued together.
Glued together, bro. We're meant to be in the wilderness. You're gluing shit together. Damn.
Need to glue them together. You can just balance them, but this is easier when I'm teaching lessons and stuff. And I found this works absolutely fantastic.
That's true, Gio.
But you could use a harder bit of wood, hollowed out with some leaves or something in it to lubricate it. If you can also use something like Vaseline or lip balm, sun cream, just something that you can put inside that's going to lubricate that action. Finally, you need an ember tray, something to catch that hot dust.
He's got a receipt.
And that will turn into an
What
ember.
the fuck is this?
It could be a piece of bark. This is just a piece of cardboard.
Why not
just
use
something
bark,
that's
bro?
Nice and dry, that's going to sit underneath your board and catch the embers. So all these components are going to give you an ember. But if you want to turn that ember into a flame, then you're going to need a tinder bundle. So this is just some dry grass. I've got thicker stuff on the outside, slightly thinner stuff on the inside. And then to finish off the tinder bundle, I like to use
We got some gasoline.
the seed heads of cattail. And
Yeah, how do I get that?
Cotton wool or something. just as long as you've broken it up and it's fine enough. And you put that in the middle of the tinder bundle, and that's going to act like the sort of defined baby food for your baby ember. But it also, because it's nice and fine, it stops
it was Port
dust
Arthur
from falling through
in Tasmania.
Your tinder bundle.
I actually went there with my
those are
school
all
to where it happened.
components you need to actually
I think.
get a bowl drill friction fire going. But if, you know, right now you want to practice this and you don't have anywhere that you can safely you know, make some flames, say if you just have a shed or something, as long as it's fairly well ventilated, you're not going to smoke yourself out, then you can still practice with this and just create embers. You know, that's
Check
half
the local
battle,
ponds.
At least majority of the battle is to get an ember. It's another skill to make that ember blow into flame. But you know, you can practice this fairly safely. But if you want to practice blowing it into flame, make sure that, you know, you're outside in a safe area. And I have a metal firebox next to me right here.
The forbidden pond glizzy.
Burning grass into, so it's not going to burn the lawn. I'm going to mention
The forbidden pond glizzy gives me the nice white material I need, huh?
That I found have worked, but if you don't know your different types of trees, or these types of trees
Bro, the other guy, look at the contrast of these videos I watch. First guy, face tats, no shoes, getting the grease off his face. This guy's got a nice, cushy fire bin. He's got his receipt. He's got his seashells glued together.
Don't be disheartened. I mean, you can use
with a picnic basket over here.
Bits of timber lying around your house.
Come on.
But for me, if the only thing you have to work with to see if your wood will work.
Yeah, and a nicely made animal hide. That I'll allow.
Spindle and your fireboard is made out of wood that's not too resinous, and also a wood that's just soft enough to mark it with.
Yeah, so it's interesting. They're always talking about the resin, the glue, or the sap. I wonder if I could do this. I should try to do it with a skateboard after. I should try just for fun, see what happens. Like cut the deck into a spindle and then use the deck as a fireboard. That would be pretty sick if I could do that. But I would assume that the glue would like not allow that. But we could try though, you know?
With your fingernail.
That was my idea. Yeah, that would be sick.
A little bit harder than the hearthboard, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, just make sure that it's soft enough to mark. Yeah, he's talking a lot too. And if you follow those 3 rules, then you've got a fighting chance. Another important thing is that when you get on to actually doing the method, is to look at the dust. Now, I think the quality of the dust can tell you a lot about the quality of the wood you're using. What you're really looking for is a nice, fine...
How many people died in Port Arthur, Mike? I think it was like 20, right? It was probably, I think it was like between 10 and 20. Maybe like 16 or something, or like 25 maybe.
Black dust, as fine as you can get it, and that's going to create an ember really quickly. If you're putting a lot of effort in and you're not hardly making any dust at all, then your wood is probably too hard and you're going to waste energy, so try something softer. If it completely breaks apart, then obviously it's too soft, so it's somewhere in between there. If your dust looks like small
35
black
down,
needles,
that's pretty hectic.
then sometimes it works, but it just doesn't work as well. It just happens with some types of wood. So either change the wood or just try a different area of the board. Sometimes the hardness of the wood can vary throughout your board.
Yo, I really learned so much doing this. That's what I was complaining about. I was like, when it was at the end, it worked better, and now that I'm over here, it's not working. Like, I think he's right, the hardness. That's interesting.
So just try it out and really look at the quality of dust you're getting, and you're looking for that nice, fine black dust.
Yeah, is this thicker?
Now, for this
I was thinking
set,
probably I'll get a new bow and heartboard, but I'll maybe keep my spindle. But we'll see. I mean, at least this setup, I know it's possible with my setup. So when we go to the new forest, we can just, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Both the spindle and the fireboard are made from the same piece of elder. So that's the same tree that you get elderflowers, elderberries, and
elderberries
is working really, really well. This particular set, you know, elder is really common where I live.
Magnesium 5-starter glue to trucks.
Around the UK, especially
yeah, I think I wasn't there for that.
Wasteland areas, it's quite
I don't know if it ever worked.
Tree, and you can find nice dry dead bits still on the tree.
Elden rings.
Now there is quite a big pith running through the wood, and that can be a problem for your spindle. So you just want to find a bit
What?
of wood that's thicker than your spindle, and you can split that out and carve it. Now for the spindle, then you've got a kind of sharp, pointy pencil end. And this is where your bearing block's going to be. That's where you want to reduce the amount of friction as much as possible on that end. So
Okay,
that's
I
why
was
it's got a
doing
lower
it the opposite
surface
way.
area. And then the other end, you've got a blunter end, and that's where the magic's going to happen.
I was doing it the other way. That was my
Now for the board,
reduced friction, and
yeah,
then
and
this
I
was
had
my
a piece of elder about that
action
big,
end.
and then just
Elden
got
is
my
harder
knife
than pine.
and batoned it into a plank, carved it into a plank that's just about as thick as my thumb. Now there's lots
See,
of
that's
other
pretty
different
good
types
too.
of wood that works. For
Oh yeah,
example,
see
here's
where I
an old
did it is
set.
where I did it
This
is right,
hazel,
and then over here it
and,
starts to get way thicker.
The board is made from a really rotten piece of sycamore. Now this is probably on the further edge of the softer scale. I wouldn't go anything softer than this because it was kind of falling apart in some bits of the wood, but it still worked really, really well. And this is, this hazel's quite hard. The sycamore's really soft, and that was making
Pickle
some good
Rick.
embers really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that works. I've also used willow with
Oh,
success.
what
Willow,
the triple?
It's a bit more common up in the Highlands where I lived for a while. So I was using willow for most of my sets. You can use.
I wonder, like, if he uses the same one multiple times, or what's the deal? Or he uses one max, then goes on to the second one and never uses that again.
There's lots and lots of trees you can use. So once
But
you've
this
got
guy is
all
a bit
your
of a
bullets
yapper.
and you've made your spindle with a sharp end, a blunt end, and your fireboard, then you're ready to start burning a divot. So as you can see here, these are two ones that I've used already. There's actually still enough wood that I could reuse these to get another ember, but for the sake of this lesson, I'll make a new one for you guys.
All right,
so
I'm
basically,
interested
you're going
to
to
see
start the divot just with the top of your knife, and then you're going to use the bull drill method to burn in a little circular divot for the spindle to sit in comfortably. You're then going to use your knife or saw to cut in and make a little notch. You want your spindle to be sitting that distance from the edge. You don't want it too close to the edge because there's a danger it might pop out, but you don't want to be so far in that you're having to cut really far your notch. So just about that distance. Just going to get the tip of my knife, and being really careful. I just move the board around and just do these sort of circular movements.
Gen Alpha attention span? Bro, I'm watching a video making fire from fucking scratch. You think Gen Alpha is watching this fucking video? Come on.
Even doing this, you can start to
They're
tell
playing Elden Ring while on
what the
TikTok.
characteristics of the wood is
While
like.
on
So
Snapchat
I'm seeing that
Spotlight.
this wood is really soft. Now to get the spindle in place, you've got your pencil pointy end facing up at the sky. You put it about halfway onto the string, and you're wrapping it towards your hand that you're holding the bow in. So you just wrap it like that, and it should be tight enough so that
While
when you
drinking
place it,
matcha?
your
Yeah,
notch
while
will spring
drinking
back out.
boba.
That's the sort of correct tension you need. I am right-handed, so I'm going to have
His
my right
bow
knuckle
is
down,
really soft.
and then going to put my left foot onto the board with my divot just on the inside of that foot. Now you want to make sure
While
my
drinking
bow hand is moving
Prime.
this way, so you
While
make sure
eating
you've got plenty of room.
Lunchly and drinking Prime.
Make sure you don't have a firebox to bash your elbow against. You put your spindle into your divot. Put the
You
bearing
think
block
he's
on
got it
top,
first tee?
so you're in this sort of position. Now you hold the bow with the whip is, and I like to put my thumb onto the string, and this means that you can control the tension a little bit. And you're just doing nice, smooth, backwards and forwards motions, parallel to the ground.
Damn.
You don't. People often do this, like they start tilting the bow starts digging into the ground and stuff. Just make sure you're in good technique first, and then when you get comfortable, then you can increase the speed.
What?
You can already see some
Instant
smoke
smoke?
there. Remember, we're just creating a divot. But from this point, you can tell a lot about the wood. So I'm seeing my spindle is smoking, so that's a good sign. And also, I'm starting to see the quality of the dust there. You can see a nice fine dust.
He's got good shots, yeah.
Fine brown dust to begin with. This was me just getting into the motion, but I wasn't putting that much downward pressure or speed into it, so it wasn't starting to get hot enough to combust. But then in the inside, hopefully you can see it, you can see a nice black fine dust, and that's what you're looking for, something nice and fine. So you can make a set, burn in a divot and just look at it and you think, oh, that dust, it's not looking right, it's too big, it looks like big needles, or I'm not creating enough. Then either make a new board, make a new spindle, or just try somewhere else on the board. For the next part, we're going to be cutting a notch, just like these two. And this is quite an important part to get right. So basically what the notch does is that as the spindle is spinning round, it's creating hot dust, and every time it goes round, that dust is being created and then falls through that notch and collects in a pile. So you're imagining all that spinning, you're collecting all of that heat and all of that tinder and concentrating it into one spot. And
I think mine was definitely too small.
Then you're reducing the surface area of where the friction can happen, and you're reducing the effectiveness, and also the spindle can burn through that notch and pop out. But if you make it too narrow, then just the dust doesn't collect properly, and you're not creating enough heat. But a good reference tool.
That's what was happening to me.
Is a standard kind of Mora knife. It's a really popular bushcraft knife. The tip of the blade is actually quite a good reference.
Oh!
It fits in nice and comfortably into that notch, and that's a good sort of size. So
mine is way
too small. The tip of
small.
my Mora knife as a wee reference tool. So I'm going to cut a little notch in. Now you can just do it all with a knife, but it takes a bit longer. So I just like to use my wee saw on my Swiss Army knife.
That's the knife
So
I told you to buy.
Make a little mark.
Bad luck, G. I bought a
Going from
machete
the
to
edge
celebrate Australia
towards
banning
the centre
machetes.
of your circular divot, and then it's coming in, being nice and careful.
Look at the watch. What time we got? 1:18.
You're just cutting a direct kind of perpendicular cut towards your circular divot, and just make sure that you don't go too far. It's just beginning to enter the circular divot. Either do some saw cuts diagonally to make your triangle where you can use your knife.
Oh.
This little cut. So there you go. I made a little triangular notch going into the black divot.
Yeah, I have a saw now.
It's about as far as I like to take it inside the black circle. Now another trick I found that works quite well is that on the other side of the board is just to remove a little bit of wood from the kind of the apex of your triangle, just like I've done here. And this allows your dust to form a better pile, almost like a cone-shaped pile, and also allows some oxygen to get in to keep your ember alive. So
What does he
I just
mean?
use the tip of my knife to
Oh, okay, so that's not flush, so there's like space.
just
Okay, interesting.
splay that bit out. Now in wet conditions, you want to do everything you possibly can to minimize the amount of moisture that could get into your spindle and fireboard. So, you know, if the ground is wet, make sure that your spindle's
getting
off
enough
the
air.
ground, put it on a bit of stone, put it on a camping mat, a blanket, something like that. And if you're going to be putting your foot on the board to do the technique, put something between your wet shoe and the board, because again, there could be water on the sole of your shoe, and if that goes into the board, then you're just making your life difficult. So this is a piece of leather that I use for lessons. I usually put that on the board, and for wet conditions, you could
Yeah,
use
this isn't a
leather
California
that. You can do
problem,
this on a
Doug.
sunny day, and it'll be super easy. But you know, do it early morning, late evening when there's moisture in the air, there's a dew point, and you might find that it's very difficult. Now, when you get into, say, trying to get an ember, I like to keep an eye on the notch. So hopefully, if everything's going well, your spindle is spinning nice and fast, you're going to be creating that lovely fine black dust that I talked about, and it's going to be falling into this notch, creating a little pile. And as you go along with your bow and this is spinning, just keep an eye on that pile.
You think
Hopefully,
he's got it
build
first tee?
up and up until it's starting to touch the bottom of the spindle. So this spindle's going to get really, really hot. So I like to think of it, the dust is your tinder, it's building up, and as you can see, it's getting to the top, the top of the
Yeah,
notch.
I feel like I should do it on like a rock or something, because I was struggling with the bow too. The bow, I kept hitting it into the thing. It kept like going up or down, and I would try to correct with the bow. But if I was on like a rock, I feel like that wouldn't happen. But maybe that makes it harder
The
too.
ignition is starting to happen. So when you see that happening and you're getting lots and lots of smoke, then build up your speed and put in a bit more energy into your method, so that ideally the heat of the spindle is going to ignite your pile of dust. Hopefully get an ember. So let's see if we can get this going. So try clear the area of ground around you. Make sure that
Blanket
you're
is cheating there,
I've got my fire, my ember tray.
unless you
underneath my
kill
notch.
it like
So
he
that-
did.
Let's do it on
You think he
top.
killed
I
this
like
or he
to put
bought it? You think he killed this animal? What is this? Is it a cow? What hide is that?
the sort of middle of my foot, front middle, so that you've got your entire body weight above the ember. Or above
You think
the
he's gonna
notch.
lock out the wrist? Remember those other guys? They're all talking about the wrist.
Got my spindle wrapped. Remember, pencil end facing upwards. Spindle on the outside of the string. That's important to notice. It does sort of work if it's in the inside of the bow, but
Oh, spindle on the outside. Dog size, chill. Spindle on the outside. These nuts are like basically off. Oh yeah. He better not have killed it. That's messed up. I hope that's a troll. This is survival out here.
it's more likely going to bash against the bow.
Sheep or goat?
Spindle on the outside.
Sheep
of
are that
the
color?
cord.
Maybe
Spindle in
goat.
place.
It does look kind of furry for a cow.
Get in position.
Use a
and just
Vans
sort of
blanket.
Nice and steady using the entire
Oh my God.
length of the bow. So just take your time. It's about efficiency of movement, not just getting tired.
Damn, it just smokes right
You
away.
should be able to talk when you do this. I'm seeing lots of nice smoke.
Damn, I never got that much. That's
Seeing the
vape
pile
levels.
of dust build up, increasing my speed.
You think it's gonna be a big ember?
And then you know you have an ember when you can take everything away and that it's smoking by itself.
Damn.
So we've got an ember. Now at this point, just take your time. A lot of people freak out and start running
Yeah.
around.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Been
take
there.
time.
Don't put it under the
See if we'll
dirt.
get the camera a bit closer.
Wow, he's
So you
just
can sort of
chilling.
fan the ember with your hand, and when it starts glowing, that's when you know you can transfer it. I'm sort of protecting it from the wind. So get your tinder bundle, get your knife. Got your nice soft bit of cattail, and I just use my knife to try to transfer it nice and gently. You will move the camera again.
Yeah, mine was glowing. I was blowing on it, blew it into the dirt, and even then it was still glowing.
Okay,
After
so I've got my
surviving the
firebox
dirt.
ready. I've got my baby ember in its bed. I close it up.
In its bed. Blow on it?
Nice and cozy.
This is the sickest part. We
You want
gotta.
that ember
Let's
to
watch the
be
castaway scene.
Wrapped up a little bit in the tinder bundle. And
Come
then
on,
just
do it,
blowing
bro.
Nice and gently to start with. Bundle held up like this so the heat is coming up and through it.
Quick! Oh.
So there you go.
Oh. Damn. Oh, he's not even gonna. He's not even gonna make it.
So I couldn't really explain when I was blowing on the tinder bundle there, but hopefully you saw it that as I was holding the bundle up and blowing through it, you saw that the smoke was getting thicker and thicker.
Yeah, what time is on the watch now, huh? We got 4K. Earlier it was 1:19. Imagine it's like
and it gets to a point
9
where
a.m.
the smoke is almost yellow.
Oh, we can almost see. Enhance.
Yellow and it's really, really dense, and you know that's when
Oh, surely we can see. Ah, I can't make it out.
pop. It's get going. So increase this your strength of the breath, blow up and through the bundle, and then hopefully you're going to get some flames. So there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed that video about my favorite method for the bowl drill friction fire.
I feel so confident now. Fake. Fake.
The air got to it.
Should I make Wilson? Should I make Wilson for the vibes? I have a basketball. What do I get? Blood? Yes. What's my Wilson called? Rickson? Buy some pig blood. Okay. See, this is what's funny about Hollywood, is like, why not just show the real method? Why do it like this? Like, bow drill is still epic, but I guess maybe it's like you couldn't innately figure it out, I guess. Lipson?
Come on.
This is gonna be me. Come on, come on.
I did it. I did it.
feeling would have been insane. That's probably the biggest rush you could ever get in your whole life. You're stranded on the island for whatever, like a few, I don't know how long he was at this point. But you're stranded on the island and you're like, I'm gonna die. And you're like, actually, I can make fire. That would have been, I feel the emotion thinking about it. Gregson. Burn it all! I should watch, yeah, this is a banging movie. It's good men's mental health too. Homeboy gets... Spalding.
Yeah! Yes! Look what I have created! I have made fire! I have made fire!
Never saw it? What the hell? Watch it. Watch it tonight. It's good men's mental health too. Maybe I won't spoil it then. But he like gets stranded on the island and then he's just thinking, I gotta get back to my wife. I gotta get back to my wife. I gotta get back to my wife. He has like a photo of her and then he has his friend Wilson and that's kind of like what gets him through. Anyway, let's continue watching tips and tricks until I am an expert. Oh, this is Rick.
So you need is a bow. I go typically about
Future
1 arm's
Rick
length.
with hand tattoos.
I got a little loop here at the top, and I'm gonna run it right down to that notch. You need a hardwood. This needs to be a softwood. I got my spindle.
That didn't spoil the movie at all. That's just setting up the plot. I absolutely did not spoil it. Come on.
This needs to be a hardwood, or they can both be the same soft wood. One end of my spindle, I want it to be a point. The other end of my spindle, I want it to look like a dull pencil. Need a tinder bundle, and then I need something to catch my coals. I also need a bearing block.
Always got the shoes out.
Roll my hearthboard away. Now I've got a coal. Drop into my tinder bundle. Do a little taco.
He doesn't have glizzy juice.
Once everything's said and done and you got wood burning, then you got a fire. So you need
Come on, he could have made it roaring at the end there for the video. But that was good there. I'm just gonna watch as many of these as I can. Ah, look, see, this is a good one. Boring. Choosing the right wood for bow drill. 8 things to consider. Yeah, bow drill troubleshooting, please.
If you've ever struggled to get a bow drill fire...
Why? Every time. That wasn't Australian, that was British, right? If you've ever struggled... Should I take my feet off? What would be sick is like every hour that I don't do it, I have to take 1 article of clothing off. Did Maya fail doing this? Wait, she tried it? I'm sure we can find it because she has the VODs channel. I'll send her a pic when I do it. It's like, yo, who's the outdoorsman now? She did? No way. I guess fire? Oh shit, she did. 3 hours?
I'm working late. Cause I'm a stream. Hello. Bathon.
Thunderscore resubbed for 2 months.
How long ago was this? 10 months ago. Oh shit, that's after I was there.
What can I say? Jester underscore.
That's like gonna be. You know what I mean? Grumpy Murloc, Rylan. Jump. Beetle. Thank you guys for the subs.
We got the fire extinguisher.
If I believed you and I did that.
We got a Dr. Pepper and a fire
Would that be
extinguisher.
funny to you?
And we're doing it on the 10 bucks. I feel like she did do it. I feel like if she didn't do it, it would have been longer than 3 hour stream. What the? Castaway technique?
This isn't gonna work, but I'm just gonna see what happens. Okay, here you go.
Wait, what?
Ow.
She went in with no
I think
technique?
he was right. Thanks. Subway Sandwich, thank you for the sub. Jacob Johns, 61, Astro, Audible, Bison, Voyage, Fublian, Lena, Luwakin. Thank you guys for the subs. Guys, this is a good practice, okay? You have to practice this muscle of being positive, okay? It's part of a fulfilling life.
Onyx_sub for the first time.
She really tried the castaway method?
Luckily for us, everybody in chat has made a fire using sticks before. So instead of people backseating Shirley, they'll be like really helpful and constructive and not annoying.
Oh
I'll just
no,
be
she
rude. You
cheated?
you sound like one of those people that's just an asshole, just so mean to everybody. And then they say something that's really mean, and they're just like, oh, well, I'm just real. Sorry, I'm just not afraid to say what I mean. And it's like, no, you're being an asshole. I hate those people. I can't stand those people. There's an archetype, and you know exactly what I'm talking.
All right. Let's talk more castaway.
Excellent.
She really went in with no research. Oh my god.
Smoke 100%. This isn't gonna work.
She doesn't have any cordage, right? It was bad.
Okay, new method.
Was it doing good views for her? Who researches? But see, like, maybe because I had a vague interest in outdoors type stuff, I knew about the bow drill method. Like, if I was lost in the desert, I wouldn't have known how to do it, obviously. But I would have said, yeah, there's something with the string, and it's like, they go like this. Oh, here we go.
Okay, maybe we go once.
When lost in the desert, open Chrome. Desert? If I'm in the desert, we're trying to make water, not fire.
Thank you for beginning my love for bugs. It has been so fun. Now be as
Chat, you can suggest anything. This isn't particularly at the Frozen guy. You're welcome to suggest anything that you want. Chat's just gonna clown you and I'm gonna like you less.
I wonder if this is the right wood.
Never even thought about.
You know what I should do, actually, guys? I should do this and say, Maya, I challenge you to do it. And then I'll text Maya and say, hey, I'll come to Texas and we'll do it together and I'll show you and then, like, I'll teach you how to do it.
Just nothing.
That could be cool.
It's not even that hot.
I'm talking like I've already done it. But I feel so confident now. Oh my god. We're getting desperate. What was the last
The
attempt?
30% of you or so, just close the tab, get outside and try this yourself. You all have the supplies.
Yep.
Just go do this yourself and use all your ideas. Okay?
Sounds good.
It only takes 2 sticks and a rock and a string.
Oh, this is the Dr. Pepper can right here.
Ow!
I feel like this half
Don't
board
hurt.
is not right. I think Texas has larger supply of dry wood. I feel like this looks harder. It looks not soft enough. But I mean, what do I know? I've watched like 2 tutorials and I made an ember 1 time. Alright, anyway, let's log in.
If you've ever struggled to get a bow drill fire going, or you just haven't managed the skill, you're in good company. Lots of people struggle to get the skill down, and it's because there are so many moving parts and so many factors that contribute to us getting that ember. In this video, I'm going to troubleshoot some of those issues, and hopefully it'll help you to make a bow drill fire. I'm Clarice, welcome to the Live Ready channel.
Ooh. South African, okay. That makes sense. Oh! Check
So
out
contrary to
pump
what the
drill.
internet may make you believe, making a bow drill fire for the first time can actually be quite difficult. And it depends on your skill level, depends on previous experience, and it also depends on your ability to manage the fire triangle and to find
I
the right
have
resources.
previous
So just
experience.
really quickly, the fire triangle says that we need heat, oxygen, and a combustible material. But those need to specifically work together in such a way that you will get either a flame or an ember from them. So it can't just be any combustible material. It needs to actually be able to accept the heat that you're generating from it. So that's why when we make a bow drill fire, we search for materials to start with that are soft. So if your thumbnail leaves a print on the wood, then most of the time that wood is soft enough to use as a halfboard. These materials are often found nearby rivers. They
These
grow
guys yap
really
too much. I'm
quickly, and the
gonna
wood
watch
tends
in
to be
times
quite
2.
soft.
24
so
minutes
willow
is too
is
long.
great. This is Port Jackson that I've come right with. But it doesn't mean that you can't use harder woods. This is pine that I've made a couple of bow drill fires out of. And then there are a couple other ones, spruce, poplar, all of those
Wait, did you hear that? This is pine.
fires out of. Use harder woods. This is pine that I've made a couple of bow drill fires out of. And then there are a couple other ones, spruce, poplar, all of those ones. And a lot of them do tend to grow near water and they grow fast and the wood ends up being soft. It can also happen though that you find wood from the same tree but different parts of that tree, and usually we use standing deadwood because it's already dry. Your wood needs to be absolutely bone dry in order for this to work. But it can happen that you harvest twice from the same tree.
Nah, Steve. Like, people can do that one, huh? I'm not doing that. After seeing how hard bow drill was, let's not get too overconfident.
The one part is just too hard, so you actually don't end up managing getting an ember from it, whereas you might have previously harvested from that tree and gotten an ember out of that. And basically what happens, a wood hardens as it grows. So harvesting from different parts of the tree could also land up with you having the same materials from the same tree, and one half board works and one doesn't.
The thing that I'm thinking now is, like, when I go, that's why I kept all this stuff. I'm like, I know that works. I'm taking the stuff. I'll do it. It'll work again. But then I'm like, I don't want to get brand new stuff again and then be like, oh, this is the wrong wood, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think I'll do it with this. Then I'll try to find new wood, do it again. Then I'll try with the skateboard, do it again. I think that's the plan. With this one, I'm pretty confident now, I think.
Doesn't. All right. One thing that I noticed for me is an issue that men don't have an issue with is if they have a really thick or a really big drill. I meant to say a really thick bow. So this is just about as big as I can handle comfortably. This is preferable to me. So you don't want the bow to be bending. So you want it to be completely solid. And sometimes what that can mean is that you need to take a bigger branch. But if it's really heavy, then I find I work a whole lot harder to try and drill for fire. So to me, having a lightweight bow is actually a lot better than having
she's
a
saying
really
she doesn't
thick,
want it to
hard bow.
bend,
I've tried
which
to
is
make
conflicting
fire,
to some of the other
bow drill
people.
fire with a man's bow before and struggled to actually work into that ember just because for one, his bow was a whole lot thicker, so it was more difficult for me to handle. Whereas this one, which is my favorite one, is actually a lot easier to hold. And because it's so lightweight, I
that's
can
pretty
more
loose
easily
too,
vary
the
the
string.
angle. This actually looks quite good at the moment, the spindle here, but sometimes our spindle can, there's a good example in here somewhere. Sometimes our spindle can be a little oddly shaped, like this one over here. And then you can see, because it's not round, because it's got this angle, it's going to end up shouldering out. So what that means is, on your hearthboard, that little edge over there is going to generate more friction than the rest. So you're not going to get an equal amount of heat generated in that hearthboard over there, or in that notch. So having a spindle that's really as round as you possibly can make it, and it can sometimes be difficult to carve a spindle that's round, and that's the other thing, is people underestimate how much work it is to actually make a bow drill kit to start with. So that's the one thing, is shouldering out, and that'll often give you a squeaking sound. Now if you can, then take a knife and just carve that off so it's rounded a little bit better. It's not too thin yet, this one wasn't made too badly, but they could have just taken that edge off and that edge off, made it rounder, or even drilled with a side instead. That might have gone in the bearing block actually. Okay, the other issue is that sometimes when our bearing block is softwood, then we drill through the bearing block a lot faster than we'd actually like to. So to give you an idea, this is a hardwood bearing block, and this one is made from Port Jackson, the same as my hearthboard is. Now, I think this one has probably made 7 or 8 bow drill fires, whereas this one's only made 2. And you can see that the hole in this one is already a lot deeper than in that one, which is going to add friction to the top of my system where I don't want it. I rather want the friction at the bottom, because I want to generate sawdust over there in that notch and catch that and form an ember there. So that's troubleshooting the materials. And what you want from a hearthboard is that when you...
If you don't have a rope, you gotta make a rope. If you have clothes, you can make rope. If you, like, the idea would be you only have a stick. Maybe I should try that too. Maybe what I do is I make one, then I say, if I do it, then I take my shirt off and make rope out of the shirt. That would be litty.
you drill into it, you need to get black sawdust. If you don't get black sawdust, there might be an issue with your half-board or with your spindle, but often it leads more to technique. With technique, the problem that I often see when people are trying to make a bow drill fire is that they're not drilling hard or fast enough. There are a couple of issues that come in with technique. People want to sit back like this. Unfortunately, it doesn't allow you to actually place enough weight on the system and on the spindle for you to generate that black sawdust that we're looking for. So the correct method to do this is to literally be up on one knee with your foot just about a centimeter, maybe 2 away from where your spindle meets your half board. And then what you want to be able to do is put enough pressure on your spindle with your bearing block over here, and at the same time stabilize.
Why are all these outdoorsmen wearing watches? Like, it never crossed my mind even for a second to wear a watch. What I thought outdoor person like doesn't really like watch possession.
Your hand against your shin. That's why you have to get into this position. Jimmy, you can't be in this video. Go quickly. So definitely make a point of getting into this position because you can stabilize your arm against your shin
Lock
here.
the wrist.
And that's really what you want because you're going to be drilling, so there's a lot of movement. And if you're doing this inside your
That
bearing
was
block
my
or
exact
inside your
position.
half board, then you're not going to be generating adequate heat. I usually place my spindle on the outside of my drill. It just gives me a little bit more room to work, even though there's a knot here. It's supposed to be at the top, that's fine. And then I've got a little bit more room on the line to work. I get my foot really close to that knot, as close as I possibly can. Then with my bearing block, I can now stabilize against my shin. I've got enough pressure in the system here so that I can...
My son didn't know what an Asian was? What? Mixed stick? To check the time? You're in the woods, you look at the sun. It's midday, it's morning, it's evening. That's the fucking time.
Vary that to ensure that I'm getting that black sawdust, and then I've got enough room to move here while I'm drilling. So it looks like that. So once you've got your positioning right, you also need to make sure that every part of your kit is playing along. You need to get out of the fence quickly. What I have sometimes done, if I'm getting that squeaking
Time
sound...
is imperative, not if you're in the fucking woods. Are you camping in the woods? Time doesn't mean shit. You look at the sun. What do you mean? You ain't gotta go somewhere at 2 o'clock. You ain't gotta wake up at certain time. You just do whatever.
Vary the angle a little bit as I'm...
No, Gia, tomorrow I have plans that I haven't fully figured out. I have a nice collab, but I won't stream that day because I think it's like secret or whatever. And then I'll plan it tomorrow and I'll go the next day, I think. So I think maybe I'll just confirm with Janice, but I think let's go Thursday 29th starting at like 10 a.m. And then try all day, make it, stay out there, and then come back Friday 30. And then I guess my hard out would be like the 2nd. Do I really commit to like, I will stay live for 1 week? I don't know. But I really think I'll do it the next time in one overnight trip for sure.
So,
bro, you wear a phone on your wrist? Bro, I'm a fucking live streamer, dog. What are you talking about? I'm just saying this is an outdoor channel. I just find it a little bit surprising.
Where I've got my spindle in my half board, then sometimes
Meet back at the campsite at this time? What the hell? You go to the woods alone, dog. You get lost out there alone, not with the team.
Just change the angle a tiny bit in order to get that shouldering out to even out, and that has helped. Now I've mentioned that your materials need to be absolutely bone dry, but the surface on which you try to make your bow drill fire and the environment that you're trying to do it in is also going to play a role in whether or not or how hard you work to get that ember. So if you're on a wet surface, for example, if I was on the wet ground here, I would be drawing a lot of that moisture up into my system, and it takes heat from my system, and then we go back to the fire triangle again. You need the amount of heat in order to get that ember to light. So if there's anything in your system that's drawing heat out of it, then you're going to struggle to get that ember going. So oftentimes people use a knife as a catch plate. It works. If your knife has been in the sun for a while, then
I don't think she does have a video crew. I think this is tripod.
It might actually draw heat out of the system. So consider little things
Why
like
am I
that. If you are
anti-watch?
drilling,
I'm not anti-watch. I was just making an observation.
a lot of people find, let's do the other way around. A lot of people find that the bow actually ends up popping up either to the top or to the bottom, and then they lose the spindle in the bow. And that's often because if they're drilling, they're going in that direction.
Yep, that's me.
And as you go in that direction, see the bow moves up. So what you need to do in order to counter that, let's move it down again, is to drill level. So instead of drilling at an angle like that, drill level, because it keeps the bow line level and then it doesn't pop up or down. And then if I vary that
what is
angle
this?
a little bit, see then the shouldering out stops or the sound stops.
Why isn't it? What the heck?
The other thing that people find is an issue is the spindle slips inside the bowstring. So if the spindle, so you're moving and you're drilling, but the spindle is kind of standing still. There can be two reasons for this. One, the pressure you're applying here is too much, so you're actually preventing the spindle from turning. The other issue is maybe your bowstring is just a little loose. And instead of going and retying your entire bowstring, what you can do is just use
I was doing
either
that.
your fingers
I instinctively started to
or
do
your
that.
fingers and your thumb to just adjust the tension on that line. And that is the ideal, because when you start drilling harder and faster, you want to be able to vary the amount of pressure that you put on that spindle as well as the speed that you're doing that at. If you've tried this 100 times and you still haven't succeeded, just keep on trying. 2 Chronicles 15 verse 7 tell us that we will be
Massachusetts
rewarded.
Mike, this is for you.
Just keep on trying. 2 Chronicles 15 verse 7 tell us that we will be rewarded for our labor.
Wait.
If
She
you've
just
tried
quoted
this
a
100
Bible?
times and you still haven't succeeded, just keep on trying. 2 Chronicles 15 verse 7 tell us that we will be rewarded for our labor. So
Yeah.
eventually you're going to get that fire going. But it does
Let's go.
require a lot of work, and it does require some practice. It requires practice in making a kit for yourself. It requires practice in getting the positioning right, and it requires practice in having the endurance to actually draw for that ember. Okay, so the other thing that you can do in order to ensure that your spindle doesn't slip is to actually reverse wrap your cord for your bow. So that's what I've done here with a bit of paracord. You can use natural cordage as well, but it is quite difficult to make natural cordage for a bow.
I don't think she made a dick joke. I think she just was being natural and just said it like that. I don't think she did that on purpose, to be honest. I think that was just like an accident.
A string that's able to, it is quite difficult to make natural cordage for a bow string that's able to withstand the amount of work that you're going to put this system through. And then another trick is to put a bit of lubrication inside your bearing block. So you can use some of the grass in the area.
Girls don't make dick jokes? Yeah, I don't think they do.
And
I don't think a girl would ever say, this is as thick as I can handle. I think she was just
And then we're going to make
talking.
use of the juices in there to lubricate.
Oh!
And that should help a little as well. Okay. All right, so let's give this a go. The one thing that I don't have here now is a catch band. Okay, I always make this comfortable for myself by putting a shimmer under my knee. Positioning is absolutely crucial here. And the notch that you cut away can be about 1/8 of the entire size.
Oh my god, that scared me.
The place
Do not,
where you-
Mike, Maya did not do it. I'm so confident. I'm gonna do it and send Maya the video and say, yo, let's link and I'll show you how to do it.
Drilling. And I might still be able to get another fire out
Janice
of this
made a
notch.
whole
Let's have a
joke.
look. If you do take
Yeah, I
a
guess
break,
that's
don't
fair.
get rid of the sawdust that you have
But Janice is a
generated
keeper, huh?
previously, because you can actually still use that. It is basically the tinder that you use for your ember. And then very importantly, before you start drilling for fire, make absolutely sure that you've got a tinder bundle that you've processed. So I haven't processed this one, but I do know that I've got some really nice previously processed stuff over here. And I'm going to put it in the middle.
Dang it.
There's some
How do you
bark,
get
there's some moss in
that?
there, and lots of things that will help an ember to catch a light. And then my nest around
Yeah,
that is going
Mike,
to
do
be
it. Watch
pretty
how
much
easy I'm gonna
like
do
catches
it,
on
and then
fire.
you gotta
Generally
be
bleeds up.
motivated.
Okay, so I've prepared my tinder bundle or my tinder nest. And I often find the things that grow around the river are also really nice tinder. The stuff that's so fine
The
that when you
forbidden
break it
glizzy.
apart, it has these teeny fine little hairs. Take that and work that in your fingers, add one, process that and use that for tinder. I'm going to position myself so I can stabilize the system here.
You think
and
she's
I
got
want
it
to
first,
get
T?
comfortable first. So start slowly, get into a nice rhythm, make sure everything is working nicely. And then once you start generating enough heat, then you can work hard and fast to get that ember to light. All right. Okay. So just get a feel for the system. And it's at this point that you're sort of figuring out how much tension you need to place where. And if you feel that there's something in your system that needs adjusting, then adjust it.
Started to buy to smoke weed. Damn, that's a good. If you're a weed YouTuber, you do all this thing and you say, not lighting my joint until I make fire from scratch. That's banging. That's an absolute A+ YouTube video for a weed tuber. I don't know if they got the motivation though. Yeah, she's going pretty slow. They said go slow at the start to get it warmed up, like to get the heat
Sawdust, but not a
ready,
whole lot.
then really go for the friction.
And I can smell it.
Light your joint from scratch. Yeah, that's sick, Mystic. Uh-oh. Looks familiar. The pain.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just tensioning on my line here with my fingers.
Janice, girls can't make dick jokes because they're too hard. Nice one, Janice. Very nice. Yeah, I like how you've just been watching for a while then. Should I see if she's there? Oh, she's not. Here we go! I see smoke! Oh my god. Oh no, don't stop, don't stop!
Okay, so I've got a lot of sawdust, but I'm actually too tired
No!
to just drill right for an ember.
Keep
I
drilling,
will do
girl!
an ember shortly if I keep drilling. But because I'm tired, I'm going to take a break.
No!
I'm just going to very quickly take my foot off there, very gently without
No
really
break!
disturbing the system. Now, I'm not removing my spindle because if I do, I'm going to release the heat that I've generated.
Go!
Okay, let's continue.
I mean, this is an authentic video.
Just go back into that position.
Nice one,
Stabilize
Janice.
there.
Are you coming home soon?
Now, knowing that I'll probably get a fire out of this now.
Drill, baby, drill!
The shoulder needs a break. When I drill now, I'm going to drill with absolutely everything that I've got.
See how hard it is? See how fucking hard it is? This is the expert making the vid. That's how fucking hard it is. Damn.
And it's going to feel like it's tiring, and then just do like another 10. And if you feel like you're tired, do another 10, and then do another 10, and do another 10.
Look at the sun. I wonder how much the sunlight has changed since she was here. Is it showing the passing of time?
Out of the system.
Oh no, it's pretty much the same.
My foot off there, very gently, without really disturbing the system.
Coming home but need time to work.
Now,
sounds good.
I'm not removing my spindle. Just do like another 10. And if you feel like you're tired, do another 10, and then do another 10, and do another 10, until you see that ember forming. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Lock in. This is exciting.
It's not the best lubrication. Okay, here we go. Girls,
Come on.
Ponytails are better for this. All right.
Yep.
Here we go.
Uh-oh. No, we've lost so much momentum.
Come on.
Come on. So it's interesting how she's angling to counter for the bow. That's good information. No!
Okay.
You got
I
it!
think my line actually needs adjusting.
Ah!
Okay. I'm going to tension my line a little bit more.
I was going to learn the knots. ChatGPT was telling
Just
me
a
what
different
knots to
plant
use.
that I think is going to lubricate better. Just retensioned my bow drill string.
I'm assuming the stream wasn't successful watching this, so I kind of fumbled it. This part, you're trying to get what they call the ember, like create a coal. I successfully created the coal, but I did not make the fire. And I could not, I did it early on and I couldn't replicate it. So yes, I was unsuccessful, but now I'm way overconfident. Longer video is more ad revenue, but I do like this authentic portrayal of this. I wonder if her other videos are like this, because she could have easily edited this, make her look better, make it 10 minutes. But I feel like this is a nice, accurate, yeah, honest portrayal. Why not edit out?
My notch.
Stop us on OnlyFans. Be nice! She's authentic! She's doing great! Look, she's gonna hang in there. Oh no. You had a much longer stick, kept kicking out. I got all my tools right here.
Showing you the real struggle of what it is to actually try to make a bow drill fire. It's not a funny trick.
She doesn't
Let's
do
see here.
She keeps the spindle close to her foot and keeps her wrist on her shin. I was in this exact position. Wrist locked, shoe really close to the thing, and knee down. And ponytail up. See, this is how she got serious. She put her hair in a ponytail. Come on. Faster. Oh, I see smoke, I see smoke. This, when you get to this point, you get so tired. No! No! Quick!
Just put it back in. Don't lose that heat. Let's continue.
Go!
Okay.
Oh Quick! Quick! Oh, she's slowing down. Men definitely have the advantage. I mean, yeah, well, like, this is a primal thing. Hunter-gatherer, right? Long strokes. Here we go.
And if you stop drilling,
Come on,
and
quick!
it's still smoking, chances are you've got an ember. Don't lift the spindle immediately. Oh, I don't know, I might have lost it.
You should have just kept going.
Because as soon as you lift the
I think when you see the smoke and you think it's done, go longer. I think. That's my newest strategy, I think.
spindle, you lose the heat inside there. And then just let it form an
Come
ember.
on.
Don't disturb it. So it's still
Imagine
smoking.
if the video goes, I'm sorry we didn't get it next
So I'm
time.
pretty sure there is actually an ember in there. And I'm shaking because I've worked really hard.
Damn.
Yeah, definitely have an ember. Okay.
Okay, let's get it going.
Now I'm very gently going to remove my spindle.
Oh my god, the pressure is real.
Doesn't look like it's red hot in there. In this time, I can get my tinder bundle ready and make a nice space in my nest to receive my ember. I'm actually going to put some of this stuff in here. Still smoking, so we should have an ember. Okay.
Please!
Now I'm gently going to remove my foot.
Please! Give her a win.
And I think my ember is actually
We need
stuck
it.
to my hearth board. I'm just going to give it a tap
Oh my
for it
god.
to come loose. And there's
Yeah,
my
the
ember.
story. She's overcoming, I agree. The other ones make it look too easy.
So now I can take my ember, transfer it
Don't
to my
drop it in
tinder
the dirt.
bundle, and just blow it into flame.
Please. Please.
Try not to inhale the smoke.
Why? I bet you I'm gonna get to that and I won't get to it's
And
a
one more
catch.
good blow.
Please. Come on.
Maybe two.
For all the vapors out there. Oh, the zoom! Oh, let's go! Good editing. Like, she is
Now there are a couple of
gassed.
things that went wrong in this.
We eating glizzies tonight!
And I hope that this has really helped you and that you'll be able to troubleshoot
Thank you.
some of the
I'm
issues
gonna
that
come
you
back.
have with making bow drill fires. If you've liked this video, remember to hit like and subscribe. Follow
I'm
me on
gonna
social-
come back and I'm gonna say, I did this because of your help. But I'm not gonna do it preemptively. I'm
media.
gonna
I
come
post
back,
a bit more
okay?
of the day-to-day Live Ready stuff on Instagram. And until the next time, Live Ready.
Let's go. With the sign out. Damn, but see, like, you gotta make the actual fire. That's not enough for me. You have to have the campfire roaring. I'm crying. Let's go. W, Extreme W. I'm gonna link you her channel. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say, I made it because of you. You inspired me. First time chat at State of Origin tonight. Who you got? New South Wales or Queensland? Honestly, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've never watched it before. But I think I like, let's go with Queensland. Take the damn Sydney, New South Wales people down a peg. Oh, look, she's gonna teach me not to. Anti-tracking in the bush. Ooh, how to leave no trace. Nice. Human tracking. I'm actually kind of interested to watch that. Total grid collapse. How to prepare. I actually used to follow this guy, and I followed him from literally 30K. When that was like when I had my like vague interest in survival stuff, and now he has like million subs. But his channel is not so good now. When he made videos at 30k, I was like, wow, these are really high quality. But now all the videos are just the exact same thing. Imminent alert! Nuclear threat! Alert! U.S. military alert! Trump! Putin go crazy! Not what I expect. Okay, there's finally one that's not imminent threat. They're all just alert! 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 Doomsday! It's like always, oh my god, it's over! Shit is hitting the fan. But I like him though. Some of his videos blew up. I remember when this one blew up is when I was following him. He seemed like a nice guy, and then I saw he got divorced to his wife, and it actually made me really sad.
How can you get this into something that is around this size?
Doom Scrolls. He was cool though. I liked his videos a lot. And then he went full on just like panic mode all the time.
This is your World War III update.
See? But I don't know. He kind of, I guess he like lost sight of his vision and he chased the views maybe. Maybe this is a good moral. But yeah, it's just all like alert now. But he does do good views though. Like he's probably making a lot of money. It's comedy? Nah, it's real. Mental illness? He's not mental illness. He's just pandering to his audience. It's definitely not mental illness. He's a cool guy.
This is your World War III update, and
He's not. He's just pandering. He's just making content for the people that like that. Let me show you where he did something cool. Look, 50 items in your survival kit. Look, 5-year apocalypse survival. Urgent.
Cheer 25. I need more. I loved Canadian prepper pre-COVID was sick. Nate really got divorced. Where do you find this stuff?
Yeah, Mike. I used to just like him and I just casually would watch him. And then I remember seeing an update where he said like family update or like divorce. And it actually made me sad. I don't know. It was like, I mean, he might have deleted it. I just remember clicking on it randomly. And I'm like, oh, I think he had a kid as well.
Cheer 25 blue label vids are the review non-WW3 topic.
That's funny. So panic, non-panic, non-panic, non-panic. Panic, non-panic. Oh, we're unpopular. Panic, panic, non-panic. That's actually smart of him. Good work, Mike. Thanks for pointing that out. I was trying to show a vid where he like tested something or goes like to the bush. See, like these kind of videos were the ones I liked.
so you're sitting at home watching the latest episode of The Walking Dead, and then suddenly there's a power outage. You reach for your phone in the darkness, and you look at it, and it's still working, but you find that there is no...
Be nice to this guy. I like him.
What do? Well, it might just be a typical
Look at this well-made video.
Local power outage, and maybe there's a local cell tower that's down. What if it isn't a local power outage and it's something much more severe? What if this was just the beginning of a major nationwide disaster?
Not relatable?
Now, it's absolutely...
I don't know. I mean, like, the way the world is set up, it is like, they say there's a phenomenon where it's like, the world is 12 meals away from complete chaos. And they're saying that, like, yeah, I'll be nice to my neighbor now because I have a meal coming. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. But if I miss 12 meals in a row because everything's fucked, then I don't care about the neighbor anymore. Then I'm willing to kill the neighbor to get some food for my family, for my kid, for my wife, or whatever. It's an interesting thing to think about. They're saying, like, 12 meals that's all it takes. So constantly the world is 12 meals away from just everything going wrong. I like to think about stuff like this. I feel like it's fun. Prepper Reddits are funny. This guy's not full prepper. This guy's more survivalist. I mean, like, I guess the videos were bad, what I was showing you, but in general, I think he's more survivalist. Let's see if we can get a good video. Yeah, he really did go hard on the fear mongering, you could say. I get why it's not a popular opinion. Yeah, fair enough. See, like, look at this. 7 foods to use as money.
Cheer 25 nah, he went full prepper. He has a homestead now.
Yeah, that's good. Right? How to build a homestead.
Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. In this age of calamity and consequence, we need to prepare to go off-grid. This is a daunting task for a lot of people.
Yeah, I want to go
off-grid.
off-grid. There was a period where I was really into this.
Who's going to show us how they went from living in a trailer to building a beautiful
I still kind of vibe with it
on a shoestring budget. Now let's get to it.
Look at these graphics. Most American Canadian, yeah.
So today on the channel we have Praxis Prepper. He's going to walk us around his off-grid homestead, and we're actually going to be doing a separate interview where we talk about the psychology of emergency preparedness. So stay tuned for that video.
I can't be fucked watching all this, but I like this guy for the record. Let's keep watching bow drill. I think the good, we could go some shots. I think the variety of people is helpful for me.
Today I'm going to make a fire by rubbing some sticks together. This is my bow, bowstring, and spindle. And this river rock is going to be...
Yeah, we did. Start with low speed pressure. Preheating the board and spindle. Okay, great. Smoke and dust appear. Yeah, look how much. That's too much. Where is it? That was cute. You gotta adjust its dynamic. He didn't even get it there. We got the dogs out. What, the metal? This guy's indoors. Boom. That looks like what mine was. Basically exactly like that.
So you need is a bow?
Whoa! No shot. Nah. Hell nah. Oh, straight into the thing is interesting. Damn, that's pretty crazy. Wow.
25.14.
Oh, he was timing it. That's all I get, 3, and then it's just making a fire for every level. Ferro rod, bow drill, hand drill. Damn, that's kind of sick. YouTuberified it.
No matches, no lighter, no problem.
Today, we'll show you how to make a bow drill.
It's not the easiest way to make a fire, but if you want to get primitive, here's how you do it.
No way this guy did it. That's wrong with the thing here. Isn't it meant to just be one loop? That looks like this has never been used.
Way to make a fire, but if you want to get
I
primitive,
hate kids.
here's how
You
do
were a
it.
kid once, so you hate yourself.
Some sticks and some type of cordage.
Where are you gonna find a cord in the woods? Well, hopefully you're wearing shoes, so take
some type of cordage.
Where are you gonna find a cord in
Look at this editing.
the woods? Well, hopefully you're wearing shoes, so take off one of your shoelaces.
Find a straight branch at least 18 inches long.
Straight?
And cut a notch into both ends.
You'll have to make
Oh, what?
18 inches long and cut a notch into both
That's what they mean by notch?
ends.
You'll have to make a hearth board to burn into. Use dry wood, split it and flatten it out, then make a divot in it.
Use a straight stick for the drill. Make a pointy top and a round bottom.
Oh my, cutting towards. He's literally cutting towards himself. Where's Dad?
Using a rock or another piece of wood, make a bearing block to hold the drill in place and apply downward pressure.
Wrap the drill into the bowstring and get to work.
He's wrapping it
Once
that
you get
many?
a good burn in, cut a V-notch and let the ember drop. Now here's the fun part. Depending on the weather and wood conditions, it could take a while.
Pause. Yo, what? I don't... I think that this might be fake. There's no way that you wrap it multiple times. No one else has done that.
Make sure you have a bird's nest ready, so once you have
Please
an
don't
ember,
fake
you
it,
can
kids.
put it right in
Please,
there.
no.
Blow onto
Please.
your ember to help ignite it. Once
No.
it starts burning, throw some tinder on it.
No. Ah. Gen Z kid with the fake vid. Bro, don't fake the vid. No one even commented that it's fake. Poses, dude, 100% pose. That actually annoys me. That actually makes me angry.
A while.
Because this is not... I was looking at their materials, I'm like, these are not that good.
It could take a while.
Look. That's why I hate kids, because they're poses? No.
Make sure you have a bird's nest ready.
That's sad. Should we hate comment on them? I'm just kidding. But it's a little bit sad that they straight up just faked that. That kind of bums me out.
Opening day.
It was such contrast to the woman one that we watched. Damn. 8 days ago. Alright, let's see YouTubeify bow drill. Comment pose that. Nah, you can't comment them, but they 100% faked it. Should I try? If I find a stick like that, I could try it. I don't know. Seems insane.
Feel pretty sure this is a coal. Gonna go a little more to make extra sure.
I think for that one, probably, this, alright, now that I'm an expert, this probably needs to be softer wood than the typical this one. I think that's what they would say, but I guess we'll see.
Making fire by rubbing sticks together is something you will truly remember for the rest of your life. And I promise that whether you're completely new to the outdoors or a seasoned survivalist, if you go through the sequence in this video, you're gonna have skills that take you very far in the outdoors and in modern life. That may sound unusual, but I promise, go through every sequence here and you'll know exactly what I mean. In this video, you'll learn how to use hand drill, as well as a bow drill kit, plus
ferro rods.
What?
This is actually the ferro rod I brought to Naked and Afraid.
Oh, sick. She was on the show. Okay, that's sick.
But we're gonna start with a single match fire. A single match fire. And fire starter cheats like this one.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a keynote speaker and primitive survivalist you may have seen on the Discovery Channel show Naked and Afraid. And this is the Joyful Warrior channel. Everything here helps you solve modern problems with primitive solutions and live life a little bit more.
Are there people like this on Twitch?
Before I show
Maybe
you
I
how
switch up to this.
master the hand drill kit or bow drill kit, you actually first need to start at the very beginning. We're gonna start with a fire starter. And even if you're already doing survival, I highly suggest you start with this, because the principles you learn with like the cheating easy
Switch when I'm
thing
45.
are gonna help you do so much better with the ferro rod, and they're really, really important to know for working up to something like a bow drill or a hand drill. All right, so let's get started with this guy.
Needless to say, a fire starter like this makes...
I threw 2 pages of a book on Discord for you on bow drill. I should have used YouTube instead. Lol, funny to compare and contrast. Okay, sick. Let's watch this one and then I'll read your book. Is it out? What year was the book, do you know?
It's really easy. All you do is light a match. Oops, let's try that again. All you do is light a match, put the thing on fire, and then you're good, right? No, wrong. You need 3 different types of wood first. You can see it's the skinniest to thickest, aka kindling.
Whoa.
And you want to use the smallest kindling to set up a fire lay first. I'm making a teepee structure here, which is probably the easiest for you to start with. Then, after you have your structure ready, you can put in your fire starter. This will burn for a while, so take your time using those small kindling
Girls
pieces.
scare me. That's
Notice
okay
they're
if you
about
don't.
as thick as a matchstick to catch first.
This is,
After
yeah,
the
me too,
thin ones
mixed.
catch,
This is
you
how I
can
first
add
showed
the
Denise.
second and third pile you have of thicker pieces.
2014
and
mic,
if
a
things
bit
start to fall
outdated.
apart like this, don't worry. That fire starter is going to keep you going for ages.
but not every fire starter will. They're different quality, which is why I put these ones, my favorites, for you in the link in the description below.
Damn. What do you think? Amazon referral thing? Mm-hmm. Nice. Good work. That's capitalism.
Tool 2 is using a single match instead of a fire starter. And for this, you're gonna need a pile of leaves or crumpled paper, essentially what we would call a tinder bundle. You'll still need your tiny
Yeah, I've done
like
this before with the ferro rod. I used to have one in Australia.
You want to put them over your tinder or small,
I think my dad has it now.
burnable materials. Once you have that ready to go, you can light your match.
Starting fire science has progressed a lot since 2014. Yeah, let's find out.
And then evenly distribute the flame so that your fire is catching from a few different areas. Make sure to do it at the bottom, not the top, because fire goes up, not down. It's really helpful to keep some extra fluff, tinder, dead leaves, or paper around. I literally just threw one leaf on. You should probably throw more on. But putting them on the outside will help the flames pull through and catch those twigs on fire.
Yeah, who invented the bow drill? Surely someone kind of did.
Like level 1,
I would think that other methods would have been invented first.
Kindling and eventually bigger logs.
Do I have interesting streams when my dad is there? I don't know. Try to survive.
Once you get your teepee going, you can play with fire lays, and there's different fire lays or like structures to put the wood for different reasons. And when I have that video up, it will be linked here.
Prehistoric.
Up at the top of the screen. So as you can tell,
I think the first way fire would have been created is like lightning strikes the ground.
Starter, you're able to use natural materials that is essentially tinder. You could use crumpled up paper for this. You could use dried leaves. You could use things like cattail fuzz. But now that you
Bring
know
him to the hood.
The kindling
yeah, but I'm kind of scared to stream
and
in the hood.
Played with your small burnable tinder material with matches.
I want to show him Skid Row, maybe not for stream that.
Level 3, which is your magnesium ferro rod. So with the ferro rod, it's really important you've got this mastered, because now instead of having a flame to start your fire, you need to use a spark, which means your small tinder fuzzy stuff is even more important. But the good news is that
am I gonna have to drive my parents around?
You're only
not fully,
half a step
but we'll see.
away from being able to use
It's gonna be interesting. I am nervous about it.
Here's how you do that. Because actually, more than starting a fire, it's really important to know how to keep a fire going. And one of the best ways to do that is by using what's left of little coals or embers in your fire. So I'm gonna use my burnable little tinder here.
Use your previous fire.
This is actually the same thing you're gonna wanna practice for your ferro rod and your friction fire. So I highly recommend practicing with the coal. So put it in the heart of, I have some smaller material there, I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna start blowing.
Ricky with Danny? I don't know.
Sorry, not always family friendly. Oh,
Skid Row is what I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, I want to show him, but I don't really want to stream it though, I think.
Like cattail fuzz, dried punky
Maybe
wood,
I could film.
Which I love. I don't have any with me, but I do have some punk wood, so let me go grab it and show you. This is nice, really punky wood. Make it kind of like into a powder.
Oh, okay, so I could use rotten wood.
Chunks so that if you think of like a tiny ember, right? It's tiny, it's very delicate. It's not going to catch onto a big fat leaf. It needs something more, more like this. So I'm going to put that in. Try again. So I have my honestly pretty crappy tinder bundle. I kind of rushed through this one because the sun is setting. So this is a pretty good example of what not to do. You should not rush when you're making a fire. You should really take your time. So tinder bundle, punky wood powder is going inside. Let's try that coal again. I don't recommend grabbing things out of the fire like I do, but I've been doing this a while. This is probably the best thing you can do to prepare for harder friction fires, which are up next. As I do this, I'm holding the outside. We'll gently squeezing in. This is going to help you understand how to ignite a tinder bundle once you understand how to start a friction fire. And as you can see, I don't have that much material, and that tiny little coal catches onto the punky wood dust I put. That's the coal extender, and that coal extender gets big and bright and begins to burn the dead leaves and the dead grass, and all of that together is the tinder bundle.
Yeah, I love how it just goes.
Your fire master, so this little burning thing would go straight
all right,
into
should we skip to the
teepee,
drill?
or
oh, we got another link in
description. If you have enough leaves nearby, you could just place it down. You're going to want to go fast here, but don't. This is the thing with fire. You want to go fast, but don't. So once you get that going, then you slowly add on your pile of small sticks, okay? So that's how you get it going with a ferro rod or a coal or a friction fire. This one just is a little more of what you'd find out in the wild. It's just got some dead grasses, a little bit of cattail. I have an ash mustache. I have a mustache. A mustache ash, an ash mustache.
Ladies, this is how you get beautiful in the woods.
You think she kept making vids?
This is what happens
I'm curious.
when you live in an off-grid cabin.
1 year ago,
alone in
this
the
video.
woods, that's my heart, it's my heart. Do you ever? There's a bug.
Oh,
That's my
did
hut.
2 days ago.
And it's off-grid.
Is
and I
Naked and
live
Afraid
here
real?
In an intentional community at a survival school. I'm making a whole series about it called The Hut Chronicles.
Sick.
Subscribe if you would like to see me move from a 3-bedroom suburban home to a hut in the woods. I'm getting weird. I should stop filming soon. Actually, I don't know if you can see it, but it just started drizzling, so this is a great time to film.
Okay, up next we have a ferro rod, not to be confused with a Pharrell rod. One of those is useful for fire.
No
the other
way
one,
it's
not so
real.
much.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
so
yeah,
I got my
for sure.
cattail fuzz. That's going to be my coal extender. And as I mentioned, this
Would
is
I
the
do
exact
Naked
same
and
one I used on my
Afraid?
Trinidad and Tobago challenge.
I mean, I guess. I wouldn't be worried about being naked or whatever. I would do a TV show for fun. I feel like it would be funny.
On Naked and Afraid.
Should I apply?
It's my absolute favorite. The quality is by far the best I've ever used, and I will put a link for you to get one.
I mean, like, I'm not. I don't have any skills though. That's the problem. I gotta level up before I go.
Easily, they make a beautiful silvery dust, and you want to collect a fair amount of it. I like to
Yeah, this is how you use the ferro rod. You put it there, and then you shoot the spark at it, and it catches on.
Your grass, your cattail fuzz, your pocket lint, anything that's going to be catching the spark. To make the spark, it's pretty straightforward. You strike the ferro rod like that. You could also say a Harry Potter spell.
Lyme disease. I think if you get bit with a Lyme disease, if you take antibiotics within the first like few days, it doesn't. It goes away.
Started at the beginning. You
It's not like permanent. It's only if you leave it untreated for like months, then it becomes permanent.
Because I'm sitting too close to the fire.
Do Alone,
So as
I
you
feel like
can see, I
Alone
have
would be
less
sick.
and less. Okay.
It's funny, the people they cast for Alone is always like pregnant,
I have
pregnant
less
family,
and less of
many
the,
kids. It's never just
GP
random
structure
single
or
dude,
whatever
because
they're
random
doing
single
things,
dude
the
would just
more
stay for
advanced I
5
get.
years.
That's honestly, it's a personal choice, but I really like to have my pieces like nearby, like right there, within reach, and focus on one
also
thing at a
keep
time
getting
because it
bit.
helps me stop from falling into the most common mistake with ferro rod fire and friction fire, which is rushing. The more you rush, the faster you try to go and match the speed of fire, the less likely you are to actually get fire. And as you can see, like, I left this, there's still a flame. I can just keep feeding this. It's gonna be fine, and by the time you're at this level, you know how to like slowly add twigs. You're gonna be totally okay. Even if my flame dies down, like you saw, like look, I got it going. It's actually much slower and methodical and patient.
Tyson
than
will do a
Naked,
stream of Naked
which
Afraid.
brings me
I
to
should do the
so
stream of
it's
Naked and
for way
Afraid.
fire
I should do the
and
stream
that
of
is
King of
for
the Road.
friction
That's
fire.
my
I'm
dream.
gonna be showing you my personal
Host
favorite.
Skater
Sorry,
King of the
I'm gonna
Road.
show you my personal favorite, which is the hand drill. Maybe I'll do bow drill too. I don't know. Let me know in the comments which you get more excited about seeing.
Ticks
hand
are
drill,
not as common.
This one or bow drill. That one.
Okay,
Either way,
let's see this.
I don't know your feedback because I'm filming Alone in the Woods right now, so I'm just gonna do what I want to do. For your friction fire, you do want a really good tinder bundle. What I like to do is get a lot of like long, very dead,
I live in
very
Lyme
dry
disease world. You can
grasses
take the meds
and
early.
make a bit
It does
of a
help, but there's
bird's
so many
nest.
ticks here.
Like so. I got some dead grasses. There's kind of like some dry.
Forget which season it was. A heavy guy no one thought would win, and he had nothing calling him home but a GF.
punky wood in
They always
here.
lose
And for
so
coal
much weight
extender,
as
I'm gonna
well.
use, a little
Like
bit of
they become like
cattail fuzz,
unhealthy.
which
I
is
remember I was
on
watching
these
one
4D
and the chick didn't
ferro
didn't
rod. So
take a
this is what my
shit
tinder
for like
bundle looks
20 days,
That's
and they're like, what
pretty
the hell? You gotta go to the
small.
hospital.
I honestly don't
You're about to
know
die.
I'm gonna get it to. This is not my best, is all I'm saying. I'm kind of going fast because of the conditions and because it's for YouTube. For bow drill, this is your fireboard. You get your notch.
You like how they just carry? Is that a 2x4?
This is your fireboard. The conditions and because
Surely
it's for
not.
YouTube. For bow drill.
Did she say something about it?
This is not my best, is all I'm saying. I'm kind of going fast because of the I'm gonna get bundle looks like. That's pretty small. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna get it to. This is not my best, is all I'm saying. I'm kind of going fast because of the conditions and because it's for YouTube. For bow drill, this is your fireboard. You get your knot.
Oh no, okay. I was like, this is looking suspiciously perfect.
Notch carved in there. You have your handhold. You have your spindle and your bow. For the record, this obviously needs a little more instruction and nuanced detail than I can give you in a YouTube video. And if you want to know what materials I'm using and all that, the best thing you can do is actually get on my mailing list. I actually run events out here in the wild. If you want to learn to do friction fire,
Get my
hand
email
drill, bow
too.
drill, or any of these in person, get on my mailing list. I do occasional giveaways where you can get your own fire kit like this, but more importantly, you're gonna get special announcements.
You get the kit from
and
the woods.
discounts to my live events, which happen a few times a year in beautiful places like Maine Primitive Skill School. So I have my fireboard down, my spindle, my foot is right next to it, and my wrist is locked into my shin. And I'm gonna start slow, just making
She
sure I can
needs
get
my
the right
credit
form
card?
and that my string is staying on my spindle. I'm not
Damn,
putting
that
much
looks like
pressure
a
down,
nice
as you can
fit.
see, I'm also not going very fast.
You could have
And
your
I get
own
little
fire kit.
long strokes, and I'm actually trying to make wood dust. the wood dust collects and gets hot, and that's when the smoke starts, which I can
Does
see.
she even have a collector thing
and
under
the idea
there?
is that your pile of wood dust gets so big that it starts to heat up. And as I see that's happening, I'm going to increase speed and pressure.
The squeaking you hear is a bad thing, and it means I need to troubleshoot. Because to be honest, I'm not that good at bow drill, but if you're watching this, neither are you.
When you think you have it, keep going.
Now that you're doing friction fire, it's important for you to learn one of the most important principles of fire making. And it's that when you think you have it, you need to keep going.
That's what I was saying.
Just because there's smoke, it doesn't mean you have a coal. It doesn't mean you have an ember. It just means there's friction. So when you see smoke, aim for about 30 more strokes.
Okay.
So this actually, I don't know if I got it. I'm going to do a little trick my friend taught me where if you think it's going, you pump it.
Interesting.
Oh my God, I'm so close. So I stopped too soon, look. I'm gonna go ahead and say I did that on purpose to teach you.
Dang.
So, this is my drill.
Does really Lyme disease everywhere dwindle?
Color?
Surely when you get bitten by a tick, Lyme disease only happens like some percentage of the time, not like every single time, right? I would think that it's not like that, but I mean, I don't know. And is the reason that it's New York is because it's like wetter climate?
See how it's light and dark? You can see by the color that if I had gone for another 10 or 20 strokes, I would have got it. So, patience. Fire always teaches me to be patient. Okay, I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna try to be better at it. I'm also just gonna make a little more texture on my spindle. Sometimes when it's squeaking, it's just the wood is a little too polished. Unlike my manners. Okay. Got my spindle in. I also
so the squeaking means it's too smooth.
Your hand hold, so that's not getting all the friction. Just making sure I know where my finger bundle is. That's a very common thing. When you learn to make friction fire, that's gonna happen all the time. Again, slow and steady.
Yeah, I think Dan Cargan does have Lyme disease.
It's a little sticky. Oh, it's a little sticky.
But I think he didn't know for a while, so now it's like permanent. But I don't know.
So I actually live here at Maine Primitive Skills School, which is a survival school, and I live in that off-grid shelter in an intentional community. It's a crazy adventure. If you want to hear more about it and see how I moved from the suburbs to living out here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get into this hand drill now. So same concept, much simpler.
Making fire is the same as making your dreams happen. Your dream is a fire. Your inspiration is the spark. And all the pieces in between,
and the
like
Tinder account is the Tinder.
Are how you get there.
Okay, I'm starting to see a tiny bit of smoke here, so I'm gonna increase my downward pressure.
That seems really hard.
Thumbs just slowly back on top.
Most of us see our dream and think of that fire and make the assumption that a passionate spark is enough to create ignition. We forget that to do this big, sexy, exciting thing,
it was making fire harder and harder ways.
Simple, even boring gestures. Instead of getting fired up, we need to cool down and do the same motion over and over until we build something better than a spark, better than an idea. We create a coal.
Feel pretty sure this is a coal. Gonna go a little more to make extra sure. Oh yeah, this is super ready. So now is the tricky part. You're gonna wanna go fast, go slow, tap the board. Make sure the board's not stuck to your precious coal. This goes straight.
It's that easy, guys.
Into your tinder bundle very gently, like a little baby. I'm gonna slowly close this in, start to give it a blow.
And when you do get that coal and you have proof that the dream is happening, don't rush it. Don't ruin it by being too quick to grab the fuel and then actually smothering it.
No, I think this was a good video.
You're gonna start to think your coal
This was more YouTuber-ified than the other girls one.
What are you doing wrong? But the more you doubt yourself, the less focused you are on the task at hand. Trust the process. Take it one breath at a time and remember that it's these small, repetitive gestures that got you the coal. And now they'll get you the fire. It's a primitive solution to achieving your dreams in modern life. And if you want my 2 other favorite survival mindsets,
if you can start the fire, you can do anything.
Below. You'll get my 2 favorite ways to reclaim power and purpose so that you can take your spark of inspiration, channel it.
That was a good video. Okay, let's keep going there. Cedar on cedar. Oh. I like this looking one. Penguin Books UK. Why is it such a UK thing? The bow drill.
The trouble with taking matches and lighters is they're very convenient and they do work. There is a place for them, but they have moving parts and they can fail.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, bro. There's a place for them. The lighter is an amazing invention. Shut your mouth. It's cool to do this, but shut the fuck up.
So we're going to look at how to make a fire in a survival situation. Probably the most versatile skill is a technique called the bow drill. It's the most widely applicable of all the friction techniques, mainly because it uses a mechanical advantage. But also you can use a wide range of woods. I need to make 4 different components.
Americans are lazy and can't make fire the old-fashioned way. I mean, it's not about lazy. It's like the lighter is an amazing, absolutely revolutionary invention. Nothing wrong with that, but I think it's cool to make fire, but let's not go crazy there.
I've selected a specific type of wood, and this is the wood here. This is lime. Not only is it important for this wood to be the right species,
Cutting
but it also
on his
needs
leg?
to be in the right condition. And as
The
with
whole fit is
most things
1K?
when we're dealing with fire, it needs to be
Yeah, look
dead
at the hair too.
dry.
Perfectly
So
gelled
there are
hair.
the two pieces. Now I'm going to work on these two to begin with because these are the most important components of the set. This part is going to be the drill, and this part here is going to be the hearth. It's going to be the flat board that sits on the ground. So one is going to drill into the other. So I'm gradually turning this round log into
It's a proper
a
gentleman.
flat board. I need to
Yeah,
make
see,
it
maybe I'll
kinda
make a
like
new hearth.
miniature
I'll see how we
floorboard,
feel
nice
about
and
that.
square.
That's kind of a cool way
Of
to
course,
do
if
it.
you don't have an axe in a survival situation, you can use a knife. You can even improvise that from materials around you. And there's the hearth. And now I'm going to work on the drill. The main thing with the drill is it needs to be perfectly straight. So I've made sure when I select
Good practice, have a lighter on your knees. Survivalists would rather make a fire.
And now all I need to do is just
Fast to
smooth
conserve
off
energy. Yeah, of course.
the bark, ensuring I retain the straightness of the stick.
He looks like he walked out of the office.
And now I've got quite close to the final diameter of the drill. So now I'm going to swap to the knife because it's more accurate.
Ooh.
All the time, just checking, making
Average
sure that
Australian?
I keep it nice and straight.
I mean, I feel like such small percentage of the population of the world have ever done this.
So the Inuit of Canada.
Notice he didn't hit his axe on a rock. I don't see that.
The worst of storms, you can find fire. Now what
If
I'm
I had to
doing,
eat one
I'm just
meal for the
carving
rest of
off
my life, would it be
ridges so I have a
pasta?
nice,
For sure.
smooth drill. Now, at the top of the drill, I'm going to carve quite a steep point. There'll be as little wood in contact.
Yeah, so I
with the
didn't do
block
that, so next
later
time I
on.
will make it steeper.
So the friction will be really reduced. Right on the tip of the drill,
What up,
just
Smiley?
to make it durable, I'm going to put another tiny little bevel on the end.
Wow.
And that just helps keep the integrity of the stick. On the bottom, that's where I'm going to maximize the friction. I'm going to carve that slightly differently.
Notice it's a
But
fixed
the aim
blade
is to
knife,
have quite a shallow
Ricky,
point,
and not a
so
folding knife.
As much of the drill is
Did
in
you even
contact
see my
with
new
the
knife, Mike?
half board as possible. There, and that's the drill
That's
done.
not a knife.
The other two parts, one is a bow
is a
and one is the bearing block.
Notice
I
how it
can
doesn't
impart
fold?
downward pressure. For the bearing block,
Notice how it's
I
not
want to
illegal in
minimise
this country?
friction there, so I'm going to choose a hard, preferably still living piece of wood. I'm going to take a piece off of here that's about the width of my hand. That's all it needs to be.
Holy.
On the underside, I'm going to carve a little depression, and the top of the drill is going to sit in that depression.
Where's my arm
So
sore?
the next
Not
piece
too
of the
sore, to be
jigsaw
honest.
Is the bow. I'm going to put
My
a string-
body was sore from being in an awkward position, but this like tricep muscle wasn't that bad. I was more just like, I don't know,
across this.
it was a
So it's
lot.
like a bow and arrow, basically. We don't want this to be flexible at all. This is
Damn, they
in
all
terms of
say
length,
that.
It should be about from your sternum to your fingertips. And I've looked
He's got
for a
the big
branch
one.
that had a natural fork at the end here. And so the string can go in there. On the other end, of course, I've been forced to carve a little notch. Onto that, I'm going to put the string.
Never use a
If
lighter
you didn't
again.
have
Did my
nylon
back
cords
hurt? Yeah,
where you could
kinda.
cut
Not
a
too bad though.
spiral around the bottom of your trouser leg, or use another piece of clothing. There we go, and that's the bow done. I've left a little bit of slack in there.
That
and by
seems
the
too
time
loose.
The drill's in there, it'll be taut. So we're ready to make fire. The first thing I
Exquisite,
need to do
sir.
is carve
Well done,
a little
old chap.
depression into the hearth board.
A fantastic
and that's
bow
where
you
the
made.
drill's going to sit. So let's do it.
Let's see it. Don't get
I'll
your
take
clothes
a couple of
dirty.
green leaves and put that in the bearing block there. So it just helps, again, a bit of extra lubrication.
How about a spot of tea and a scone, my good friend? Look how straight he's keeping the bow. That's the goals. See how it's just beautiful strokes.
There. So it just helps, again, a bit of extra lubrication.
Absolutely beautiful. Get yourself an EC3. It's great money. USA fixed blade general advice, not just for stream. Yeah. All right, Mike.
That's what I'm looking for.
I did the brand deal with Kershaw. I was proud of it.
Bottom of the drill.
I got 3 of those.
Now you
little
can
knives.
see all this black dust that's been produced around the edge. That is the dust that's going to form itself into an
Stroking
ember,
like a violin.
and it's with that ember that I'll use to make flames. I need
All right,
that
carve the
powder
notch.
to collect into one place. So for that, I need to cut a notch.
Oh,
It's like cutting a
how did I
slice out of
know?
a cake,
Okay,
basically.
big wide
Cut a
notch. Nice.
Right into the middle of that charred hole. The other thing I collected is some tinder. Just any dry material is good for this. I can then put the ember into that and blow it into light.
He's raw dogging it a bit.
Watching the notch as it fills up with that dark powder. And when I see the notch
Say what you want about this guy, he's doing a good job. He's doing better than the other people. Look how perfectly straight his thing is. So the reason that he carved it from the thicker piece of wood is so when he's carving it out, he can make it perfectly straight. Whereas I was trying to get a branch that was the right width. So mine is like a little bit wonky. But he's smart. I'll give him that.
Then I know it's time to stop.
This thing is Superman.
So now I just watch that pile and I can see
Boom.
it smoking really
Just
nicely.
effortless. Didn't break a sweat.
Which is a good sign. Use a little stick just to support the top.
Kosher
of
knives are great for folding knives,
fire
that's sick.
powder.
I'll try to find the brand name for you. I'll post in the chat.
And there it is. So now I can
How
just
could I
make sure
find
my
it? Maybe like
tinder
this.
is 100% ready to go. What I usually do is just push my thumbs in, so I make a little bit of a bird's nest like that. And when I see the ember glowing orange, as it is there, then I know it's the time
Damn,
to transfer
you really
it to
did
the
it.
tinder. You do that quite gently, and then we just wrap it up. You can be quite hard with it, and gently blow. And then as it burns, just turn the bundle upside down. And of course, in a real survival situation, I'd have my kindling, my next stage of fuel, ready to go. And away it goes. So that's how you make a fire in a survival situation.
Damn. He's the office drummer of making a fire. Alright, November 18, 2022. Ready? Miss Mouse, hello, this is so funny, young man. You are not a woodsman, but your knives look great. You can build a fire. Thank you for streaming. I'm gonna do it. There's no way I don't do it. I'm planning one night out and I've got it. I'm so confident. There's no way it will defeat me. 48 hours, or like, how many hours? 36 hours, 100% happening. Unless it rains, I guess. Is the only thing I'll allow. Alright, let's see the date on this. Ah, oh, damn it, it doesn't tell me the date. So I'm going November 2022, so that's like 3 years roughly, so it's like 151. November 18th, great day. Is that your birthday, Mike? Is that what I said? Oh, no. No, then I went to Australia. I think it was after that. Oh, here it is. Look at this knife expert.
Today I'm going to show you my process of gripping a skateboard. Your grip
Nice.
job
Oh!
will be as good as your tools. I'm
What?
a big fan of Kershaw knives, and today I'm going to be using a launch 10. This little pocket knife has a hook build.
I don't know what that one
Works
is.
well for cutting the grip effortlessly. It fits nicely in my hand and is also small to carry around in my backpack with no issues. Kershaw knives are excellent quality and made right here in the USA.
What steel? I don't know.
I've
Ask
partnered up
this
with
guy.
Kershaw to give away a knife. All you have to do to enter is make sure you're following Kershaw and me on Instagram.
You should have entered, Mike.
Comment on this video. Good luck. Today I'm going to show you my process of gripping.
Look at my shit mannerisms. Fits nicely in your hand. Yeah, I kept them as my grip tape knife, my backpack knife. I prefer Benchmade. I mean, these are nice, expensive knives. I got them for free, and they paid me for this video. Hell yeah, let's go. And a follower got one. What a great interaction. Ooh. How to build friction fire ember step by step up close. Get that bag. Are they good? I mean, what do I know about knives? But it's a reputable brand. I bought a sharpener now, so maybe they'll be sharper. I had them for a while though. Like I said, that was 3 years ago. US Marine KA bar. Don't worry about squeaking. Adding pressure will stop it, but will be counterproductive and grind off damp material into your notch. Seating the spindle and warning the set. What? Don't worry about squeaking. Adding pressure will stop it, but will be counterproductive. Kershaw pretty good, made in the USA and usually cheap steels. D2. Hey, the tariffs aren't gonna change their pricing. Shout out to them. Once dust is being created, slightly increase speed to increase production without overheating it. Heating and grinding to fill the notch. Once dust is being created, slightly increase speed. Making your dust slowly gives it time to dry. That's the sound of perfect dust generation. Hot enough to be dry, but now not overcharged. Wow. You got this. Good luck. I'm off to bed. Have a good night. Yo, appreciate you being here. I am gonna do it. Let the heat do the cutting. A hot spindle and hearth. How do you say that? Hearth make better dust at light pressure than you will get from smashing the spindle to fill the notch quickly. Heating and grinding to fill the notch. He's using a power tool. I wonder what would happen if I used the drill. I'm kind of curious. Dust building on the hearth is often a sign that the notch should be wider. Dust building on that, but in this case, resin is casing a backup. It's not hitting on. Heating and grinding to fill the notch. Do it for the lulz? Yeah, I should do it on the skateboard. If I can't do it myself, I'll use the drill. Intentionally stopping here for demonstration purposes. We now have a stable pile of flammable dust ready for ignition. That seems like too much. Pausing to show that there is no ember. Oh my god. Wow, okay, so now I kind of know what to do. Using that much speed and pressure too soon would have resulted in burned out dust and would not even ignite without open flame. Okay, very interesting. Did he make an ember already? Because we built the pile of dry fuel dust with light pressure first, it only took a brief period of intense heat to ignite. Wow. Let's do it again, this time a little faster without stopping in between. Noted, yeah. This is good close up. So this is really a fresh hole. Okay, fill it up. Now what? Let it rip? It's still squeaking, making nice dust. More pressure to speed. Now would overcharge. More pressure or speed would overcharge. Hitting the sweet spot, pressure has not increased. See, it does take a lot of strokes. Get the notch overflowing. Damn. Fingernail for scale? It's just like very up close. It's crazy how it like goes in like that. Okay, let's keep going. This simple bow drill. 400k views? Holy. One-armed bow drill? No way.
It could be tricky.
Oh!
Everything is damp. Just gotta
damn,
player! To the fireboard. Throw this away, and you'll see how it works. I can do it one-handed. And you see, I did that one-handed. Oh, smoke!
Listening to this while driving? Hell yeah. We're missing some amazing visuals.
Hi, I'm Greg Ovens, and this is Ovens Rocky Mountain Bushcraft.
Rocky Mountain. I wonder if they got any oysters out there.
There we go. Oh.
If this is really, you can use 2 hands to stroke. It's probably way harder to do it this way.
Greg Ovens. This is Ovens Rocky Mountain Bushcraft.
Oh, are we really gonna let him talk for 20 minutes?
I'm at Zach Fowler's backyard. Today's video, I figured we'll do a bow drill fire for you in demonstration. He's got a cedar hedge.
He was on alone, really? Sick.
So I'll hopefully find my fire.
Dude's a legend.
And
hell yeah.
In the cedar. Cedar's one of my favorite.
Damn, he's got 1 milli.
So I'll walk you through the steps. It's going to be really difficult to get this fire going. It rained.
Damn, he's killing it.
Yesterday, rained hard all night. So
that's sick.
It could be tricky. Friction fire when everything is damp can be a very tricky procedure. So, anyways, got a knife that Zach lent me here. It needs sharpening though, so the first thing I got to do to collect my parts is sharpen the knife. I've got
feel that
the sharpener that one of the sponsors has given for our
yeah.
challenge. We had one of these on the 30-day survival challenge.
Being a show is a good way to jumpstart YouTube, yeah. Or being in a Mr. Beast video.
It's good.
But then you kind of get very narrowed down that you can only do that one thing. But that's not necessarily bad.
It's got a course on one side, fine. Then it's got the leather for fine tuning.
Okay, I don't care about this. Here we go. That's a bow.
The branches aren't as straight as they should be, but I'm gonna try to make something work.
What? It looks wet. Ugh. Damn, that's how he gets the tinder out of the vending machine like that? What?
Any friction fire that you see me do, I try to collect dry, rotted piece that I can grind into a powder so I can get a bigger coal when I do get a coal from the bow drill. It's hard to find dry stuff though. You have to see how it goes. It's also hard to find
okay.
a straight branch. These are all crooked. I think this is my best bet because even though it'll be a short drill, I have a section of fairly straight branch to work with. Now don't forget, the branches have to be dry and dead. You can't use green wood for friction fire.
It looks so wet. Wait, that's his backyard? Damn, sick.
It's a little windy out, so I'll
look at his table, it says free on it. You think you got it for free?
Rotted stump out in the wind to dry out. It's not
what the heck?
Or else I would put it under something to keep it dry. I think it's dry enough to work once I get my main coal.
Bro. I mean, he knows what to do for YouTube. I guarantee you that the engagement is higher there because of the elephant. I guess not. We're collectively tripping.
Get the bark off. I don't want the bark on there. That'll work. So that's perfect for my socket end, and that's good to start my fireboard end.
That's pointy.
That'll be my bow.
Okay, cutting notch, nice. Looks like he stepped out of Spinal Tap. Oh, that's very tight.
That'll work. I'm going to show you another little trick that makes bow drill fires so much easier. Gotta know the tricks, you know. Drill a little hole, just the same as I did with the socket that I'm going to temporarily use. Hope this cedar is dry enough. Once I get my main set up, it'll work fine.
Alright, get it going. And then we do the notch.
Right, I'm not ready to do the fire yet. Just gotta wear my parts into the fireboard, my drill. I think we'll get this going. Okay, so now I'm gonna throw this away. So I have to build my notch yet, and then show you a very fascinating, easy method to bow drill. I like to put my notch about halfway, not quite halfway into the center of where the drill is going to spin.
Interesting.
About halfway into the middle. In a pie shape is what I cut it. Wider at the beginning, narrow into the middle. Okay, so I've got my notch cut. Not quite halfway, because the drill is going to get thicker as it goes because I had it sharpened. So by the time it gets to where I want it, it'll be approximately in the middle. So Zach's got these big poles out here, and this is going to be my socket. Basically, this will hold my drill.
This is sick. But see, like in the woods, it would be really hard to find an environment that has this. Like, what are you going to find, a down tree or something? But even then, you have to be able to, it has to be small enough that you can maneuver, you know? It's kind of a hard thing to find, I feel like. Because, like, this is covered with a chainsaw, you know?
I'm attempting a bow drill right in the puddle here. Oh, boy.
Okay. That was mean, this dude is cool. It's okay.
There's
you
my
can take
socket.
it.
I'll work. One more little trick I want to show you with your fireboard. You see it's pretty thick. So if I'm going to catch the powder at the bottom, a lot of those...
Yeah, alone they always put them in hard locations though. It's always wet.
So I like to take a wedge, and I should be able to get a fire within a 1/4 inch of the wood. So I put a wedge in like that, so I can catch my powder on that wedge.
Why would you do that?
One thing you want to do is make sure you've got your tinder.
Your next survival challenge should be making a shelter cheer 25.
Dude, that would be sick. I think this is my new niche. Let's see how this goes first, though. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Mr. Ember is a little confident. But I think this would be really fun. I gotta figure out a nice place to go. I think within like 2-hour drive, there's some like camping BLM land or whatever. But I do need to get the reception too, so I gotta figure that bit out as well.
All your little branches, everything ready before you even attempt the fire. I found some nice grass I like right beside Zach's house here that's been protected from the rain. And this will work good. Put my coal in the grass, make a little bird nest, put my coal in. I've got my other dry rotted stump ready to go. Now we just have to set the pole up for the socket.
Ready to go? Is he Canadian?
One-handed. So now I want to collect smaller branches to bigger branches, have that ready. Have my grass ready for my coal.
It's hard enough to start a fire when you have a lighter when it's wet.
Once I get my grass going, the needles, then the smaller sticks, then the bigger sticks with my fireboard. Okay, I've got my notch. I'm going to cut another notch on this side, almost halfway. And that'll double my chances of catching a coal. I've got my 2 notches.
What?
See?
I've never seen that. What the hell?
Now I don't want it to go side to side. I can drive 2 stakes to hold it secure, but I've shown that on other
Wait,
videos.
he gave up on the other one?
So I'm going to take some bank line, tie to that tree, and tie to this tree to stabilize it sideways. I've got my dry rotted stump. Just put it by
Take
the
note
base
about
of
the
this
twigs,
tree
yeah.
So I know where it is. My little sticks, pine needles, and then some bigger sticks. There's lots of bigger sticks around, so I'm not too worried about that. Put my fireboard on. We'll get this set up, and then I'll tie this off.
I like survival channels. Also, Bigfoot, what people going to do?
Now I just have to stabilize it. See how
AI
it wants to go
Bigfoot
one way or the other?
vlogs? No, I haven't.
That's the idea, tying
This
it
looks
off.
so hard.
I
What's
thought
this guy's
was a
channel?
Tree.
Let me link it.
It's actually just a big branch that jammed up, but
Owen's
it'll be
Rocky
good
Mountain
enough anyway.
Bushcraft.
Pull that tight, and I'll go once around it into this other tree.
You like how his thumbnail was him in the cast? Or in a slick?
No,
That's
it
smart.
can't go anywhere. It has to just put the pressure
There's
down
no way
and
that this will work.
sideways. See? But it still puts the weight. And I didn't take some of these branches off.
Greg Owens Rocky Mountain
So I don't
Bushcraft
have to
rolls
worry
off the
about
tongue.
that unless there's a branch poking down that's going to hold the weight up from the drill. I literally could build all of these bow drill parts using the log for a socket with just one hand, one arm. Say I had a broken arm, I can still accomplish this, even though it would take a lot longer. It can be done. I'm going to show you what you would need to do in order to do this one-handed. For now, I'm just
Broken
gonna
arm would be
So to
insane.
hold my fireboard in place, I'm going to have to take a couple of Y sticks, pound them in the ground over top of my fireboard to hold it in place if I'm going to do it one-handed. Actually, I don't even think I need the back one. I think just the one is good. Just going to cut it down more. Actually, I had a guy that runs a survival school, and he asked me, he had somebody in the class that only had one arm, and he asked if I knew a way that he would be able to start a bow drill fire, and I sent him this idea, and he loved it.
Min-maxing the fuck out of this one. I don't know what. Oh my god. No way.
One-handed.
It's not even straight.
I don't usually start to go fast until I see a good amount of smoke. Starting to see smoke now. Now I'll go faster.
Damn. A lot of two-hand setup. Well, yeah, that's what he was saying, though. In theory, nothing was too crazy. But, I mean, you have to move something like this, though, with one hand would be super hard. Too easy!
It's going good now. And you see, I did that one-handed. And a little cold out. It's rotted stumps.
A little
not
cold
the
out.
Greatest. It'll work, though. I can attempt the fire pretty quick. I love my bow drill fires. Started my first one at 13. Then I was hooked. Just let it sit till
That's
it's all
about to be
red,
me, 20 years
and
later,
then we can
33.
attempt to get it into flame. I think I got a big enough coal not to worry about it. And I got it upside down, which is actually perfect. And when I see the red on the top side, then we'll try our fire. I can probably try it now.
Damn. Hit that. 33 Bojo gang, let's go. Mike, I'm gonna be so disappointed if I can't do it in 2 days now. I'm so confident.
Oh, smoke again.
I just gotta make sure I have a place with good reception. And I feel comfortable or whatever.
It's a demonstration. I don't need a fire.
Damn. I feel like you gotta have the roaring campfire. Alright, anyway, I think that's enough for today. That was super fun. Shout out to this guy. Damn, 6 hours? I had a busy day. I went skating before this and filmed some of those drone videos, then come back, then do this. And we did like 3 good things. That was fun. The YouTube vids have more. Oh yeah, the book. Let's look at the book, then I'll go. I forgot. Discord. You'll do one if you start early. Yeah, I think let's try to like start in the beginning of the day, and then if I do it easily, I'll try to do harder and harder ones. I feel like that would be super fun. But maybe I just fail as well. All right. Bushcraft 101. Oh, I think I know this book actually. Oh my god, from written is crazy. Flow of oxygen with ember itself, thus to create friction. The preferred method is the bow drill. You need 4 pieces to make the bow drill. That's crazy. I mean, back in the day, that's how it be though. We're spoiled now. But yeah, that's it. I think that's gonna be it. We watched a good amount of vids. I think that was fun. I feel super educated now. I think that was a good exercise. I think that's fun. Let's search for a bushcraft. Survival. There's no way. What else could I? What is another search term? Wilderness. Fire. Bushcraft. I feel like that's even more niche. Ooh. Damn, yesterday? Oh wait, that's someone watching a video? Yeah, it was. They tricked me. Nature? Outdoor? Ooh! Evening unwind. Nature immersion. Alright. I'm into it.
Preview the book. On
we got fairy lights.
Click on that link or copy the link.
Alright. I'm gonna raid this person. Be kind, be respectful.
That is the hot call. That is accurate.
I thought that was real for a second. That was her, like, notification.
Is that loud enough for you?
Be respectful. Tell her that I'm gonna attempt the bow drill method if you want.
Una mas. Although, when
But
it was one more
that is it.
the other hot
Yeah, so I'm thinking the day after tomorrow, but I'll let you know in the Discord. Do I have to be? She has lights up? Yes. It looks like this is their property. Alright, bye-bye. That was fun.
I startled myself. I pushed the button.
Maybe I should put some nature noises on for the stream.
That's not. Oh, that's not.